just second. You're only just second, but there we go. Demotax is here as well. He says, hi Jay, sound is fine. Good. We're back on the trusty old Rode NT today. So yeah, it's a little bit better in terms of my voice quality, and also the sound test we'll be able to do as well later on. The Rode NT mic is, sorry, the wireless Go mic from Rode is great for the workshop, not so good for streams when I'm here in the office. So it should be okay. It should be okay. Windowgate says, I remember a smell for the ones of us that can't. Rip. Hey man. Yeah, I can remember. This is really, really gross actually. I can remember the smell of my father when he used to come home from work, smelling of cigarettes from the factory he used to work in. And it was both good and bad. It was good because it meant dad was home. This was before him and my mum split up, but it was good because it meant dad was home, which usually meant a little bit of playtime with Lego or something or whatever. But it's also a really bad smell because it was musky and labour intensive smell. But yeah, I can remember that very clearly. Don't know why that one was the one that came to me, but it did. It did. So there we go. I'm just going to adjust this camera just a tiny bit because I've noticed that I've just popped it a touch too high. There we go. That's much better. Much better. So vivid. Mind equals blunt. Yeah, like smells and things like that. I have really strong memories attached to them. It's really strange. But not all smells. Like just certain ones have got really, really strong memories. The F1 is still on the desk, Huey. Yes, the F1 is still on the desk. But to be fair, I rarely work from here anymore. 90% of my time I'm out in the workshop working on the desk out there, where the FLX Virgo is the board of choice. But when I'm in here, which is when I'm doing packing labels pretty much and spreadsheety stuff, it's usually the F1, and sometimes I have a numpad here for spreadsheet stuff as well. But yeah, the F1 is still on the desk. I do have a blue F1 and a white F1 and a grey F1 that I need to build at some point, but I need to get around to doing those. They're going to be future build streams, I'm sure. We'll see. We'll see. So if anyone's wondering why Windowgator and I were talking about memories, we were talking in MK UK earlier on today. About the ability to picture things in your mind, whether that be sights, sounds, smells, or otherwise. And it came up with some really, really interesting things that some people can and some people can't do. So yeah, some people can imagine things, turn it around in their heads and kind of poke and prod with it. Other people have no visual memory or oral memory in terms of hearing or anything like that, or certainly an olfactory memory either. It's kind of strange, but different people interpret things in different ways. Fairis is here saying good evening. Good evening. I hope you enjoyed your loop station and your keyboard stand and everything else I sent you, and the little chunks that you asked as well. Kubidot, thank you so much for following. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. If we can get the heart shapes in, there we go. Interestingly, with the follows today I should hit all of the requirements to hit affiliate. So we'll see how that goes. Quapper, thank you again so much for following. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. We've also got sound effects, badges, and emotes coming for all of the subscribers, joiners, donators, bits, whatever else you guys want to do. So the interesting thing is that we should hit affiliate as long as I have more than 3 viewers for the entirety of this stream. The average should keep me above 30, so we'll see how it goes. Dang Dynasty, thank you so much for the follow as well, man. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, my dude. Thank you. Quapper says hello. Glad to see you. Choky's here as well. Yeah, I can't read that username out, but yeah, hello as well to you, good sir. Garlic WTF, thank you so much for following as well, man. I really appreciate that. All the follows and everything else. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. I don't deserve an audience as nice as you guys. I really, really don't. Synesthesia has always been interesting to me. Yeah, so synesthesia is something a little bit different, and bear in mind that I might be wrong on this, but synesthesia is more around how your visual memory is tied to numbers and words. So I think some people can taste and smell words, and some people, or numbers, and some people can actually see numbers as individual colors or like shapes, geometric shapes in their minds, and that is what drives them to be able to do huge mental acuity things. So I think synesthesia is slightly different, but yeah, it's really interesting how people have all of these different inputs inputs and sensory inputs that they then manifest in different ways in terms of memory and remembrance and long-term effects. It's really interesting, very interesting. Storesness is here as well. Hey man, good to see you. Will One says, where's the sub button? It's coming, it's coming. So after this stream you should be able to sub. I'm hoping after this week's stream I should pass all the requirements to affiliate, then I'll be able to have subs if you guys would ever like to sub. But more than that, I'll have additional functionality, so I'll be able to link up more APIs to the Vesta board when we're doing workshop streams, and we'll have the whole board coming down with more stuff. I'll also be able to do things like polls in chat and other things as well. So more than the subs, it's more the whole cool toys that you get when you get affiliate that I'll be able to link to as well. We'll be subbing for that founders badge. Yeah, we will have badges and all of that kind of stuff if people do choose to sub. Only sub if you can afford it, guys, when we get there. I don't want people doing it if they can't afford it or anything else. But yeah. Is that an F1 Yeah, this is an F1 on my desk. When we flip over to the camera, you might be able to see a little bit better, but this is my personal build. Gion actually sent me this one as I sent him a JO2, which is one of my boards. I sent him a JO2, he sent me one of his boards. We kind of traded, like a collector type thing. It was good fun. I sent him a black and brash JO2, I think, or maybe a grey one, and he sent me this black F1, which was really, really nice of him, so yeah. Will they ban you? Streamers have said it before. I just don't want to say it, man. That's what it is. It's me personally, not terms of service. Scientia says, aphantasia. I always thought the whole mind's eye was a figure of speech, but then I tried asking my husband to imagine an apple and asked him what colour it was, and he answered green. My mind was blown. Yeah, like if I imagine an apple, I can picture an apple in my head, and I can the standard apple that I have is kind of like reddish sort of green, so it's red and it goes to green on certain sides, like some apples do. But I can change that, so I can change that to like a Granny Smith, which is all green, or I can change it to a Golden Delicious, which is a bit more of a reddish colour, or I can go to those really plum, bright red apple, like dark red apples. I don't know the name of them, but I can change in my head what that apple looks like. I can spin it round, I can chop it in half, I can open it up, I can segment it, I can take the pips out, I can check the stalk, I can add a leaf or remove a leaf from the stalk. My visual memory is quite good, and sorry, my visual mind's eye, if you want, is quite good. But I'm the least creative person in the world. Like, I am not creative at all. I can picture things, but I can't create things. That's the difference. Zakia says, I just got my board stands. They currently live underneath my bed with everything else. That's fair, that's fair. But you now have the option to put them on display when you get to it, right? Right? Crapper says Megaflex. Megaflex. I don't know what this Megaflex is, but no, there's no flexing here. Your board is quite the beauty. The JO2, JO1? Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate that. A lot of that's down to James. My idea is the design language. James is the actual CAD guru that turned it into a physical prospect, if that makes sense. I should hit affiliate at the end of the stream. I have one more requirement to hit, which is 7 streams in 30 days. I should hit that at the end of this stream. Or the only thing is, you have to have I think it's 30 average viewers or something. We've averaged close to 50, so as long as I have like more than 10 viewers, this stream will be okay, and we should hit affiliate this weekend. Yeah. Jay confirmed Gandalf. No, I'm not Gandalf. No. No. Huey says, oh, that's wild. I've never experienced stuff like that. What do you mean, Huey? What don't you experience? The ability to move things in your head? I can't imagine not being able to do that. A really good analogy for this as well, guys, and I know this is completely not keyboard content or anything else, but it's kind of in the makerspace and creative stuff, which is what Prototype is all about. But one of the cool things is that I find interesting is when you read, guys, and I want you to answer this in chat. I want you to answer this in chat. When you read a book and it's a novel about a story, say it's Hobbit or Lord of the Rings or something like that, you know, a fiction story. When you read that book, what do you see? Do you just see the words on the page and you interpret the words on the page as you read them? Because my experience of reading is very different to that. But put into chat what you experience, guys, and I'll tell you about mine in a second. That feeling when antsy. Tom, not all of my boards are ISO. A lot of them are, but not all of them are. Maybe the good ones are ANSI. I don't know. Maybe. Okay. Yeah, okay. So some of you guys do the same as me, and some of you guys don't. Like when I read a book, I don't see the pages and the paper and the words anymore. After I've been reading for 2 or 3 minutes, I kind of go into what I'm reading about. Pork Sausage Steve, thank you so much for the follow. Thank you so much. And I don't see the pages anymore. I don't see the words. I don't see the letters. I don't even comprehend that I'm reading. I'm in the story. The story is what I see. So if it's describing a battle scene, I will see the battle, and my mind will fill in the gaps and the blanks. And it has smells, it has sounds, it has sights. It's a whole thing. I can manipulate it as I'm moving around, and as the story jumps from place to place, those images move. It's almost like it's almost like a video game that you control in some ways, but almost like a movie at the same time as well. It's kind of hard to describe, but I'm there in that world. When I'm reading a book, I'm there in that world. That's where my head is. That's what I see. And people can talk to me in real life around me, and I will not hear what they say. When I get into a good book, that's what happens. So it's kind of really interesting. Huey says, I can't even imagine an apple in my head right now. I know what it looks like, but I can't create an image. See, I can't understand that. That's so weird to me. That's so strange to me. Threx says, yeah, I would visualize it. Windowgate says, words on pages. Yeah. Will 1, same as me, creates his own world based on text. Yeah, so you see what you're reading, right? Exactly. Cianthia says, I hear a narrator. I can imagine sounds, but not pictures. Wow. Like, I want to be able to experience that. Like, I would love to be able to experience that just for a few minutes to see how it is. And I'd love to be able to share my experience with other people as well. That'd be really cool. Dang Dynasty says, Jay, later, can I send you my AG for artisans I make? I'd love your thoughts on them. You can always DM me, send me pictures, whatever you want to do, dude. I will have a look. I will give you my honest thoughts. Please bear in mind, they will be completely honest. I don't shy away from giving criticism where it's due. Makes it jarring when books are turned into movies if it doesn't fit with how I visualized it. Oh, see, I see those as two different entities. Like, I'm able to separate that, and the book is one thing and the movie is another. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Quappa says, I only see the pages. Interesting. I can't imagine what that's like. Like, I genuinely can't put myself in that position, but I'd love to be able to experience it. Good evening, James. Welcome to the stream. Thank you. We were just singing your praises a few minutes ago about your ability to turn things into from my pencil drawings into CAD, which is amazing. Windowgate says, I'm also mega dyslexic, so I often end up laughing at the funny words my mind creates and then find out the words aren't there. So in a way, I'm imagining stuff, just not the way you do. See, again, that's really interesting because I never misread something, or if I do, it jars me out of the world that I'm in. Like if something's really difficult to read and I'm not quite in the flow. That's really interesting. Really interesting. What coffee am I drinking today? This is a coffee called Pop, P-O-P. It's incredibly good. It's incredibly good coffee. Like, I have a subscription box that delivers 3 different coffees, a kilogram of 3 different coffees every month to my workshop. And this is the only one that I've ever considered just having in and no other coffee. Like, this is so good. It's fruity and it's sweet, but it's tangy at the same time. It's really good. Mackin999, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Thank you. Huey says, I'd love to be able to do that. The closest thing is I see the closest thing to that is I see shapes when playing and sometimes listening to music. See, that I think is synesthesia. I think that is more closer to the synesthesia type thing, where you see images and shapes and colors, and those are corresponded to numbers or words or musical notes, I guess. I think that's a very different thing. That's really cool, though. Really cool. Garlic says, I can imagine and picture the JO1 in my hands. Soon, 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 soon. I have confirmed with the factory the other day that all of the anodization has just completed. The next step is to clean, quality control, package, and ship them to me. So 6 to 8 weeks, they should be in my workshop. Raging Asian is here as well. Ray, good afternoon, sir. Good evening. Welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for being here. We were talking about the JO2, James, specifically, but there's lots of others that you've done for me as well that we can't talk about just yet, but maybe soon. Maybe soon. Will says, I feel like I'm skim reading a bit, like I couldn't tell you what I've just read the words, just what I've seen. Interesting. Yeah. Lord of the Rings was an interesting example. The movies really evoked some of the scenes almost as I imagined them in the books, which made it all the more jarring when the plot diverged from the books. Okay, so I did get this a little bit with the films, not so much the beginning part of the Lord of the Rings, and with the Hobbit as well. But the big one, the big out of all of the 4 movies, 5 movies, 6 movies, whatever there is, that jumped out to me was the missing of Tom Bombadil. Like, that just completely threw me when that just didn't happen. That really threw me about. Tom Bombadil not being there just confused the hell out of me because it missed so much of the plot, and I was not quite sure what was going on. Like, that did confuse me. Is this the new challenge for OGR updates? It might be, it might be. Calic WCS says, Jay, I've been recently working with folks from the UK, and for me understanding the accent is a bit tough, but your accent is so easy to understand. I've heard accent changes with different places in the UK, like Newcastle versus Liverpool. Is that true? Yes, so the UK has a different accent every 50-ish miles that you travel. So no matter which direction you go in, you go about 50 miles, you're going to hit a different accent. I worked for a bank for a long time, 16 years, and I kind of trained myself, because I'm working with people all over the country, to have what I guess you might call a BBC accent, which is the lack of an accent, or to try and remove myself from an accent as much as possible. For people in the UK, it's really, really obvious that I'm from the north of the UK, but other than that, it's very difficult for them to pin it down. If I revert back to my actual accent, well, I speak a little bit more like this, and I'm ontsmu about tat, and that's how I go, you know. But so my actual accent goes very, very broad Yorkshire quite quickly if I let it. But it's a conscious effort to be more clear when I'm speaking on stream that I use my BBC banking accent so that people can understand me a little bit more clearly. Okay, I hope that helps. Latest update for OGR is that she is still banned. She's been not around for a while. She's been missing, so I hope she's okay. Man, I miss you. I hope you're doing well, dude. I hope you're doing well. Raging Asian asking if I saw Grosjean's first IndyCar podium yesterday. I did. I watched the lap. It was insane. He was so good. I wish him all the best. I think he's going to do great. Yeah, I think he's going to do great. Pub Goku, man, that's a name I've not seen in a long time. Thanks for being here, man, and thanks for the follow as well, and just Bagel as well. Thank you very much for the follows, guys. I appreciate that. I'm doing well, thank you. I'm doing very well. Windowgate says Mega Weird Tom, who's basically the first entity in the universe. Yeah, right. Yeah. Somerset has the best accent. We sound like pirates and farmers. Yeah. So interestingly, if you guys want a bit of an aside, I can tell you a bit of a story about when I was in Somerset. So this would be 2002-ish, and I was just about 17, nearly 18, and I went to Somerset with some friends, and we were basically going to see a band somewhere. I can't remember the band, I can't remember where it was, but on the way there, instead of taking the motorways, we decided to take the scenic route. So we were going on all the back roads, through the country roads and everything else. The car broke down, as it always does in these stories. The car broke down. I can't remember what was wrong with it. I don't think it was like a flat tire. I think it was something a bit more untoward than that. It was literally broken. It wasn't going anywhere. And we went for a walk to try and find help. So we followed the road, walked for 3 or 4 miles, and we found this small little pub. Now, it didn't say it was a pub outside it, but there were people going in and out. There were people stood outside having a cigarette. There were people talking, all farmers with really thick Somerset accents. And so we just went in and we asked for directions to where the nearest town was, and we were told that we wouldn't be able to walk there, but if we waited a couple of hours, we'd be able to get a lift off one of the regulars. So we were waiting for this lift, and we decided, well, why not? We're in a bar that's selling alcohol. Let's have a drink. So I asked for, I can't remember how many of us, but I asked for, say, 3 pints of beer. Oh, we don't sell beer. We only sell cider. Okay, fine. 3 pints of cider. Oh, we only sell it in half pints. So, okay, 6 halves of cider then, please. 2 each, right? Makes sense. In my head, it makes sense. Anyway, we get the cider. I pay the money. Get the cider to the table. It's got little bits of apple floating in it. Have a sip. Tastes really good. Bit fiery. Tastes really good, though. Really enjoying it. Drink the first half. Don't remember the next 2 days. I have no idea what was in that cider, but I don't remember the next 2 days. That was a very interesting trip. That was a very interesting trip. Jay, can you do a perfect Scouse accent for this stream, please? I can't do a Scouse accent. Like, that's one accent I can't do very well. I can't do a lot of accents very well. Like, I can't do a London accent. I can't do a Newcastle accent particularly well. Kawasaki, you know, but I can't do a Scouse accent very well. No, I wish I could. I wish I could. Yeah, BBC is in the BBC Corporation, BBC News, BBC, it's like Sky News, but BBC News, that BBC, British Broadcasting Company. Brizzle Massive. Pork Sausage Steve says, your earlier videos had a much more Yorkshire accent. Yes, so I've gradually stopped being my real accent on stream and made it more an accessible accent on stream. I try and suppress my Yorkshire tendencies and try and enunciate words a little bit better. So in Yorkshire, it's very much ont into click, Bart web, Bart tat, you know, and it's kind of like the words are squished together a little bit and different combinations sound a little bit different. So I try not to do that, and I try to enunciate my words correctly. And I just kind of trained myself to do it for when I worked for the bank, right? Because I wanted to make myself easy to understand, and that just carries over to streaming. Brighton, no notable accent. A little bit of one. I can confirm that Jay sounds differently on stream. I do. Sean DePaul say, thank you so much. Kindion and Trade Splatter as well. Thank you so much for the follows. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. If I have time later, Jay, I might stream a race or two. Yes, I might be able to watch from my mobile. Please do tag me when you're streaming. I will definitely watch a couple of your races, dude. Scrumpy Jack and a half. Dude, I have no idea what it was. It tasted fiery and strong. I remember the taste. Talking about remembering things, this is one thing I really do remember, the taste of that sip of that cider, but I don't remember the next 2 days, so it must have been pretty strong. Sounds about right for cider. I remember speaking pints of it and falling asleep in farmers' hay bales. I think it might have been a similar kind of thing that we did. I don't know if you have this round there, but up in Cumbria, we've got a weird mix of real posh-sounding people and real farmery type people. Yorkshire's a little bit weird because all of the cities in Yorkshire have different accents. York, Leeds, Bradford, Manchester's not quite Yorkshire, but Manchester. And we're kind of a little bit more diverse in a very small area compared to, say, the south, where it kind of slowly changes, but the north has very distinct accents, and that's because of the Industrial Revolution. So there were all these pockets of industrial towns that came together that created these accents, and they were very diverse in terms of the people that came there, because it was all the villages that coalesced into one another to make a town as the Industrial Revolution started. So the accents kind of came from that, but all of these towns were very separate. And they were dotted all throughout Yorkshire and places around here on the rivers, and certainly down from the Cumbria, the Lake Districts, you know, all of the rivers that came down that way. And all of these kind of different settlements, they kind of coalesced into larger metropolitan areas and became the cities and towns that we know today. But that's because of that separation between them, the accents kind of merged into their own entities. So we have this really concentrated mix of different accents, even across Yorkshire. So like you go to Wakefield or Leeds or Harrogate or Bradford, and all of them have a different accent. And it's really obvious to someone who's been here where they're from. Even certain areas within Bradford, for example, where I am right now, a Burnley accent would be very noticeably different from a central Bradford accent. Like it's a Keighley accent. It's really easily noticeable. Bolton is, yeah, like Manchester, but a Bolton accent is, again, very different. It's really interesting. But it's also to do with the Industrial Revolution, how towns coalesce together, and I grew from there. I could talk at length about it. I won't. Sulper9, thank you very much for the follow. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I appreciate you. This is the truth. I'm an Amsterdam now and can't get a decent cuppa for love nor money. Hey man, come visit me. I will make you some Yorkshire tea, the Yorkshire way. Liverpool, let's go. Crapper says your desk is so pretty. Thanks. I've got my old vintage clock here, little tray with my keys on and stuff, and then my desk mat. This is my own design desk mat as well. This is the only one of these that exist, but I might be selling them soon, so watch out for them if you would like one. Jay, what's your all-time favorite keycap set? Oh man, the cheesy answer to this is the one that I designed, GMK Midnight Rainbow. The real answer to it is probably Honeywell. Like, I just really enjoy Honeywell as a set, and I think that's probably my favorite of all time. You mean a brew? Yeah, I'll make a brew. I'll pop kettle on. Popped kettle on. There you go. That's a little bit of Yorkshire for you. Once more about that, popped kettle on. Cuppa, London mate. Yeah. Yeah. Deepwell or Honeywell? Deepwell's really nice. I prefer Honeywell personally, but I am buying a personal set of Deepwell, so take that as you will. Take that as you will. Right, okay. We've talked at length for about 30 minutes now about random stuff. JJWKB, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that, man. We've talked, for some reason, we talked about accents. We've talked about me getting affiliate. We've talked about sensory experiences, and we've talked about The Lord of the Rings a lot. I don't know why, but that's where the conversation has gone. Thank you so much for directing your chat. But it's time to start looking at the build that we're going to do today. So let's flip over the cameras. Okay, now you can see my desk a little bit better. There you go. My little tray and my little clock. Okay, so today we're going to be building my PC Lin Dolinger. But before I show you the board and before I unbox it, I would like to show you some of the keycap sets that you guys are going to help me pick which one of these are going to go on the board. And I'm also going to talk to you about the switches that we're going to use and also the stabilizers as well. Then I'll show you guys the board. And then I also have some unboxings later on to do as well. I have some CC Artisan boxes that I got just in the other day. And I also have two things that I want to show you that are upcoming for future prototypist workshop streams. This is where we're going to build stuff and make stuff in the workshop rather than just soldering a keyboard together. So yeah, we will show you that kind of thing soon. That desk though, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, I like this desk. It's a great desk. It's a good solid desk. And this desk mat is my own design. It's so cool that I have something that I created, and I'm not a creative person at all. And I have this here, and it's now on my desk. Yeah, it's nice. Cuppa, London mate, not northern. Down south, innit? I'm now the cat. I cannot do a London accent. I can train myself out of an accent, and I can do my own accent quite well. Can't do a London accent. Not to save my life. Okay. So, switches. Today we are going to be using these switches. These are stock pewter tactile switches. They have a translucent smoky housing and a bronzy coloured stem, and they're called pewter switches. Now pewter is more of a silvery metal, so I'm not quite sure where they got the name pewter, but that's what they're called. We'll be using these for the build today. Now these are completely stock. I have not modified these. I have not changed them in any way, shape or form. These are 100% stock switches. They are very lightly tactile. It's difficult to show you that. But they are very lightly tactiles. But these are completely stock switches. I have not lubed these, I have not changed them, I have not tweaked them in any way. And the reason for that is because this build is just a temporary one. So the idea is I want to break in these switches. I rarely build tactile builds these days, but I do feel like tactile switches generally benefit from being broken in before you lubricate them. So the plan is to use this board for a couple of months, have it in the workshop, use these switches until they're broken in, disassemble the board, ultrasonic clean the switches, and then rebuild the board after I've lubed them. So that's the plan. Pewter, yeah. Pewter, yeah. Garlic WTF says, Jay, since you're running CRP, are you getting any for personal use? Yes, I'm going to get 2 of each of the mod kits, the all-in mod kits, 2 of the white, 2 of the beige. And I'm also going to get 1 of each of the alpha kits as well. I think that's all I need. But yeah, I think that's what I'm going to get. Something like that. There we go. Okay, so those are the switches we're going to use. If I don't trip over my own turn. Huey needs to get a lot of CRP this month. Yeah, I think everyone does. There's not long left as well. It's only until the end of the month. So if you guys want it, you need to join it. The stabilizers we're going to use today are Duroc stabilizers. These are V1s. I haven't decided what layout we're going to build on this year. It's a 65%, but I haven't decided what spacebar we're going to use. I need to take a look at what the PCB supports and what the plate supports, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. But yeah, we're going to use these. White mods will only go with J-Pink and Xerox. Yes, but they will go with some other sets that I have as well. So Yeah. All others would need beige. Yeah, you're not technically wrong, but I need them for other things that I can't talk about just yet. Anyway, these are the stabilizers we're going to use today. We're going to use these Duroc stabilizers. We're going to lube these with 205 grade 2. That's the lube that we're going to put on the stabilizers today when we get around to building them. Okay. In terms of keycaps today, you guys are going to have 4 choices to help me with. Now, I can't run a poll because I'm not an affiliate, blah, blah, blah. But when it comes time to choose, you guys can put into chat what you'd like to see. And whichever seems the most popular, that's what I'm going to go with. The first one is JTK Vostok. So this is a JTK set, double shot set that was produced about a year ago. Triple shot set even, that was produced about a year ago. I could do a straw poll. James, if you fancy running that for me, we can do that when we get there. I'll well volunteer James for running a straw poll. The second choice of keycaps tonight when we get there will be GMK Vaporwave. Now these used to be on my TGR Jane, but I took them off there a little while ago because I wanted to use them for something in polycarbonate. So GMK Vaporwave might be the second option today. The third option that you guys might have to pick is GMK Botanical. We have the base and the novelties here. This is a great green coloured set, so maybe this is something you'd like to see on polycarbonate. We'll see. And then the final set that you guys will have to pick from is GMK Night Runner. Those will be the 4 options. James has volunteered and said you're welcome for offering to run a straw poll at the end of the stream when we get to pick those. So thank you very much, James. Or send James your love because he's such a nice guy. Send him as much love as you can. Thank you, James. I appreciate that. Okay. So those are the options you guys are going to have towards the end of the stream. But now it's time to show you guys the board. I've been told to be a nice guy. Don't worry about it. Who told you to be a nice guy? Oh, don't do it yet, James. We don't need the straw poll yet. We need the straw poll at the end of the stream. End of stream. We need to pick it after we build the board. But thank you. I think someone just subbed then, just followed then. Sorry. So Tosco, thank you so much for that. I missed that when it came up on the screen. I just saw it, but thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. What colour is the Dolinger? I got too excited. Well, you might be able to read this, but it says Lin Dolinger polycarbonate here. But this is the box. You can see it's got the Lin logo on it just there in the centre. Oops, if I don't drop the box. Now, I've had this a little while. I've had this about 6 months now, but it's time to build it. In the box, we have something that all keyboards need, a PCB. Well, maybe that's not true. Do all keyboards need a PCB? No. Not all keyboards need a PCB. I lied. Not all keyboards need a PCB, but something that this keyboard needs is a PCB. So we have the one that comes with it. We have the Fave 65. Thomas the Train, thank you very, very much for the follow, man. I appreciate that, dude. Thank you so much for following. Yeah, so this is the Fave 65. This is a 2020 PCB. Casterberus, thank you so much, man. Hey, good to see you, man. Good to see you. Thank you so much for the follow, dude. I appreciate that. It has the production date on there, 4th of June 2020. That's the PCB we're going to use today for this build. In terms of the board, Bererist 12, thank you very much. Thank you so much for the follow, man. Thank you. And Dutchy Donut as well. Thank you so much. Thank you very much for the follows, guys. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Oh, I don't deserve you guys. I really don't. Yeah, hand wired. Exactly, right? Yeah, you're not wrong. That's why I corrected myself, guys. That's why I corrected myself. And then in here we have the board itself. I'm going to turn this around because it's the wrong way. There we go. But this is my polycarbonate Lin Dolinger. So as you can see, this has those wonderful Dolinger side profiles. It has that thick slab of brass on the inside. These curves are so cool. It's so hard to show you them on stream in polycarbonate. Look at that curve. Also a nice curve here at the back, just where the USB port goes. And of course we have that polycarbonate plate here. Polycarbonate plate is fixed, unfortunately. There is no ISO option for this board. I do have to build this ANSI. The plate file is not open. I cannot get a replacement plate for it unless I recreate one myself. So we are stuck with this layout for now at least, for now. So yeah. So there we go. Casterberus says, I wish I had your beard. Man, I wish I got to speak to you more. So yeah, I think you could absolutely grow this beard if you wanted to. Absolutely. Pork Sausage Thief, Jay, will you be building an OGR when it arrives? So the OGR did arrive, and I just sent it straight to James. I had it for about 2 days, and I shipped it straight to James, as it's his design. So I don't know if he wants me to build it or not. If he does, I will. If he doesn't, that's entirely up to him. Wow, nice. This is so cool, this board. Like I've wanted one of these for years in polycarbonate. I was so happy when these went up for sale. I'm really happy to have this now and to be able to put this together. I am going to try and reverse engineer this plate and create something a little bit different myself. But we'll see. No kind of dates or times on when that's going to arrive. The fact they could do a CNC PC board with such curves is pretty amazing, says Casterberus. Yeah, they've done such a good job. Like, these curves are not easy to machine because the curves actually come in here and then they curve in here as well. That curves in like this. So there's actually 2 different radiuses of the curve. It's almost like, if you imagine that a curve is always the outside of a circle, or in this case a sphere, there is actually 2 different spheres that interact on this as cross segments. So it's really clever how they've machined this. It's so difficult to show you guys how that might be. You can also see that there is some faint lines on here as well. This is actually texture that has some vertical lines on it. It's very difficult to show you on stream, but there is some horizontal lines running across the board as well, which feel really nice and soft. It's very tasteful. So yeah, that's what we're going to build today. Nick5435, thank you so much for the follow, man. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. ANSI is just a disgrace. Well, all layouts are valid. All layouts are valid, I will say that. I have ANSI layouts, I have ISO layouts. I prefer ISO, but I think ANSI has a lot of benefits as well. Very curious, also curious about the Ayla. Speak to James, man. He can spill the beans here or not. It's all up to him. It's all up to him. For Jay to build it, not me. Hey, if James wants me to build anything, he knows I will do it. He knows that I will build it for him. That's fine. You like it is here as well, saying PC Dolinger. I have this one also. Hey man, yeah, I have 3 of these. I have a white one in aluminium and an e-white one. I think it's a grey one. I'm pretty sure the other one is grey. And then I have this polycarbonate one. But this will be the first of the 3 that I've actually built. I've never typed on one of these. So yeah. Juggernauts, thank you so much for the follow, man. Thank you so much. I so appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Dude Chip is here as well. He says, hey Jay, hey man, good to see you. Thank you so much for being on the stream. Thank you. Spill the beans. Which beans? Which beans, bub? Which beans do you want spilling, bub? Tell me. Dude Chip, thank you for the follow. And Dragstar as well. Thank you for the follow. Thank you so much for the follow, guys. Thank you. Guys, thank you. You have a lot. I have a lot of keyboards, dude. Like, I actually know the number now because someone came and helped categorize my boards the other week. So the reason all of my cases now have labels like this on them, hold on, this one says Lynn Dolinger Polycarb. The reason that all of my boards now have little labels like that one is because a friend was kind enough to come round, and in exchange for a day using my laser cutter, he catalogued all of the keyboards that I own. So I now know what I have, although I haven't been through the list. I now have a list that I can refer back to if I want to, and I also know how many I have, which is kind of nice and kind of depressing at the same time. G4EGK says, what was your first mechanical board and first custom mechanical? Do you still have them? One of the first ones I had was a poker. I still have that. I did a terrible spray paint job on it, but I still have it. And I also had a CM Storm, which was actually probably, I went from the poker to the CM Storm, and then I came back into more custom boards. I still have the poker. I don't have the CM Storm. I gave that away a long time ago. After that, I can't remember what the board I got was. It may have been a UK 78 that ran. May have been something a little bit before that. I can't remember. I had an E6 V2 in the first. Sorry, yeah, an E6 V2 in the first round of those, which would have been what, 2015, I think, something like that, maybe 2014. I can remember the first custom keycap set that I bought. That was SA. Oh gosh, what was the name of it now? It was blues and greens. Oh gosh, they did a GMK version as well. I've forgotten the name of it. I can picture it. Like, it's in my mind's eye. Those of you who are here at the beginning of the stream will know exactly what I mean. It's in my mind's eye. Calm Depths, SA Calm Depths, that's what it was. So I had SA Calm Depths, that was the first group buy I joined. So yeah, long time ago. Yeah, Calm Depths, you guys got it right. Yeah. That crazy price clue board, that was early on, right? That wasn't that early. I think that was like 2017. I'd had quite a few boards before that. I was in the hobby a long time before I joined the MK UK Discord server. But I think that might have been 2017 or so. So for reference, guys, someone came into the MK UK server and they were selling a clue board for just £50, 50 British pounds. Now, this was the full aluminium clue board. It had a slight ding on it, but it was a full aluminium clue board. I still have that clue board. So yeah, Pokemon. I think that was 2017. I think maybe something like that. I don't know. I still have that board though. I still have it. Yeah. You like it says my PC Dolinger with PC plate feels like I'm typing on keys. The electricity vibration under them. Hard to explain. Oh, is that like the iPhone thing where the iPhone's plugged in and you run your fingers on the back and you can feel the vibrations of the electricity inside it? Is that it? You can like feel the vibration of the current. Is it like that? Yeah, it was Calm Depths. I say Calm Depths. Yeah, you're right, guys. Yeah. Cool. Okay, so now we've talked about the board a little bit, and I've told you how I'm going to build it. Feels like haptic field back. Got you. Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah. We are going to take the PCB. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to snap these rails off. Shun88, thank you so much for the follow. Thank you so much for the follow. Yeah, Pokemon Kid, I want to say it was like May time 2017, like 4 years ago this month, I think, something like that, maybe May, June time. Kudzakiji, thank you so much for the follow. Kudzai Kiji. Yeah, Kudzai Kiji, thank you so much for the follow, man. Thank you. I really appreciate that. August, yeah, okay, I thought it was summertime, yeah. So the first thing we need to do is snap off these rails that you can see on either side of the USB port, and also snap off this long rail on the front. Those are not needed for the build, they're just there to protect the PCB, and it's part of the production. Now I don't want underglow on mine. That's the last thing I want. So what we're doing is we're just breaking these connections here. We're just snapping these off. We'll see if we need to trim them with some flush cutters afterwards. We're just physically snapping them to start off with. Well, we will if they will snap. There we go. That's one side removed. I'm going to flip the board around and then we're going to remove this side as well. Does Lynn send along a build guide, one that's not in Korean? No, there's no build guide for these. They're relatively straightforward boards, though. They're relatively straightforward boards. I bought a Dolphin 2. Which colour Dolphin did you go for? I think I went for the lilac or the burgundy. I can't remember. It was one of the two. Okay, now we've done that, you'll see here that we have just some slight, if the camera focuses, come on camera please. You see we have some slight jagged edges just here at the top, just where we've snapped them off. So we're just going to trim these up with the flush cutters. Just make sure they're all nice and smooth. Just to make sure we're not going to damage anything while we're doing the build itself. Went for the lilac Dolphin. Yeah, I think that might be what I went for. It's either that or I went for the burgundy. I don't think I went for the burgundy. I think I went for the lilac. But I will be corrected on that if I need to be. Okay. So now what we've done is, you can see here, we've just tidied these up. They're not exactly smooth, but they're good enough. They're not going to catch on anything now. So that gives us a nice working PCB. Always remember, guys, don't breathe in FR4 dust either. It's not exactly great for your lungs, so just be careful of that. We'll pop the PCB to one side. The next job now is to take out the plate from the case, and then we can start to look at our stabilizers. So the screws on this are Phillips, so we're just going to grab a Phillips screwdriver. And we're just going to undo the case screws. I think you went to Lilac Purple, Jay. I remember seeing your name. Yeah, I think I did have the Lilac. I don't think I went for the Burgundy. I think I went for the Lilac, but I'm happy to be corrected if it comes to that. Okay, now we've undone those screws there. Oh, I forgot to do the typical. I forgot to do the back screws as well. So now we're just going to do the screws at the rear. Shadow Pat, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you being around, man. Good to see you. Is any dust safe to breathe? Really? Yeah, household dust is generally quite safe to breathe. Man, I wish my E-White Dolinger didn't come so scuffed. Would love to have this board in my collection. Yeah, man, these Dolingers are so good. They're so nice. Just check the list. You are lavender and wing keyless. Thank you, man. Thank you. You haven't been done there. No, don't be silly. Okay, there we go. So that's all of the screws out. Just going to pop them to one side. I've sent all my other trays off to Tom, so I can't actually take a look at them at the moment. Now, this board, when it goes together quite simply. The whole bottom case is also the side profile as well. The top is only a thin lip that just sits in there. So there you go, guys. That's how that looks. That's the big solid block of brass that's in the bottom of this. It's a nice huge chunk. Okay, so that's the bottom case. Just gonna pop this to one side and we'll grab that back later on when we're ready to put the case together. Okay, you'll see here that this is two parts. We have one part which is the plate. We have one part which is the top case. One thing I do want to call out, guys, is you can see in here in these holes actually have helicoils in them. So the screws are not threading into the plastic. They're actually threading into these little metal inserts that you can see just there, which means they're a little bit more robust and much more secure than other parts. Now the other thing is this is very, very fragile. It's PC, so you can see how much I can bend this quite easily. I could easily snap this, so just be very careful if you do get one of these guys. But I have to say the machining on this and the sandblasting finish is absolutely phenomenal. All of the internal corners are milled nicely. There are no scuffs or scratches. The sandblasting is the same on all four sides of the part, on all orientations. It's very cleanly milled. The chamfers are nice. Very impressively made. So not only is the base really hard to machine, even down to the detail, like even on the inside, this is milled nicely and it's sandblasted as well. This has had some real care taken over manufacturing it, guys. Like some real care is being taken into this. It's very, very nice. Okay. And then here we have the plate file. This is what I'm going to try and reverse engineer. I'm going to try and make a carbon fiber one or a POM one for replacing this in ISO layout with a different PCB. That's going to be the long-term plan for this board. But for now, we're just going to make the standard ANSI layout, ANSI layout. Gotta love the quality of the PC donga. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Okay, let's catch up with chat. Let's catch up with chat because you guys have been talking a little bit. Damn, Jay already pro streamer. I'm not a pro streamer, man. I'm not a pro streamer. I've been streaming for 4 years, dude, but I'm not a pro. I'm not a pro streamer. Do you have any materials to cut keyboard stands from in purple? LaFish, no, but I am going to do some atomic purple ones in stock. If you look online now on my store, you'll see atomic purple lube stations for key switches. I'm going to do some stands in that colorway in the near future. So I've got the material on order. They'll be in stock in a couple of weeks' time. Just watch out for the ping on my server and you will see them. Kimchi Joda Boy, hey, good to see you. It is new, yes. Prototypist is doing its own streams now. Most of them, if you look at the history, are going to be workshop streams, but I'm also going to do my build streams here as well now going forwards. So yeah, just one of those things. Any though on Infinity Keyport. Creton Live, I'm not quite sure what you mean. If you mean I've got any more extras, I do have a few sets, a few very last sets that are going to go in stock later on in May probably, if you're looking to buy Infinity Keyport. But yeah, let me know what your question is. Pork Sausage Steve says that's good to know. I've heard complaints about the quality of the Lin whale from a streamer. So I have a couple of Lin boards. I have I have 3 Dolingers. I have a whale in POM. I have a POM whale. Now the POM or acetyl, whatever you want to call it, is a different material. It's very hard to mill. So when we do that build stream, we might have a look at that as well. I also have 2 montages as well. I have a peacock blue montage, and I think I have a pink montage as well. So yeah, I have a few Lin boards. I had to use some 3M Scotch pads to get some scratches off. Oh, interesting. This one is really good. This one's really good. I'm very, very happy with the finish on this. But yeah, the great thing about PC is if you do damage it, you can get 3M Scotch pads, and you can just scuff it back to a standard sandblasted finish. It's great. In fact, actually, Norbauer has a great video on that. So Norbauer shows on his Norberforce keyboard case for the Real Force boards. He actually shows how to rescuff the polycarbonate with Scotch-Brite pads to make it more like new. It's very good, very clever. I also had some reaming burrs in the rear screw holes that had to file or break off. I don't know then. I must have a good one and you have a bad one, because this one is absolutely perfect in those holes. Let me show you. Like there's no burrs on them at all. Like this is just really clean. Like look, this is just really clean. Very, very happy with this. What do you think of Infinity Port? I think it's a great keycap set if you're trying to match it to something burgundy or black. It's probably not as the original renders intended it, but it's come out as a really, really nice set, I think, overall. Again, all down to your taste as whether you like it or not. Yours does look clean. Yeah, I can't complain at this. I cannot complain at the quality of this board at all. I'm very, very happy with it. Okay. Now we've done that, it's time to figure out what layout we're going to use. So I don't like split backspace, so we're going to use full backspace. We're also going to have to use ANSI enter. I'm going to split right shift because I like the right shift to be split. And I'm going to split left shift. Even though we're not building this ISO, I am going to split left shift just because I prefer it like that. I like my short left shift and I like having my pipe key easily accessible on the left hand side of the keyboard. So I'm going to split left shift as well. So we need 2 stabilizers, 2 2U stabilizers here, 1 for backspace and 1 for ANSI enter. The next question is, how do we want to build the space bar? Do we want to do a 7U bottom row, or do we want to do a 6.25? I think 7U is supported. So 7U is supported. We could do a 7U space bar, but it might be that 6.25 gives us some more options. So I think therefore I think I'm going to go with the 6.25U space bar. I think that's going to be the play here. 6.25U space. And then we'll work out what we're going to do from the sides there. Okay. So now we need 2U space stabilizers. Yeah, so the plate does offer both shifts. It does not offer ISO though. Just going to grab all of the parts we need here. So we need 6 housings, 6 inserts, and 3 wires. There we go, and we'll keep our bag of screws out to one side. Okay. Pewters, very nice. Yes, we're going with pewters today. These are completely stock. The idea is to break them in on this build. Infinity Port goes really well with some white cases. I'm pretty sure there's some pictures in my Discord server of someone using Infinity Port on a e-white keyboard. I can't remember what board it was, but I'm pretty sure there's some pictures there. That Shark, thank you so much for the follow, man. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, so now we've decided on the layout that we're going to use today. It's time to build the stabilizers and lubricate them. So to do that, I am going to use my trusty 205 grade 2. And what we're going to do is we're just going to put the inserts into the housings first. So you can see we've just got the insert inside the housing, just like so. We're just going to line all of these up with the inserts in the housing. Now the way to tell which way around the inserts go is the inserts themselves have 2 holes on one side and they have 1 hole on the other. So if the camera focuses, you'll see it has 2 holes on this front side, 1 and 2, and then on the rear it only has a single hole. So the front is the side with 2 holes, and that goes to the side on the housing where the wire clips in, this side here. What TKL am I using today? The TKL here is an F1 ATEX by Geonworks. Okay, so just going to put all of the inserts in the housings. Once these are all ready, then we're going to start to lubricate our wires. Now all those are ready, we're going to take a bit of lube on our brush. We're going to put it on quite thick on the stabilizer wire, and we're just going to put it on the wire where the wire goes into the housing. We're going to make sure that this is evenly covered in all areas, on both sides as well. You want to make sure you're getting good coverage. You also want to make sure that you get coverage on the ends of the wire as well. A lot of people miss this, but you also want to make sure you get coverage on the end of the wire and around the curve in the wire as well. So around the curve, you want to make sure you're covering around there as well. Now, don't put too much lube on when you're doing this. It's easier to add more lube later than it is to remove lube. Once you've done that, insert the wire into the housing and clip it into the front, just like so. Okay, we're going to repeat that on the other side, and then once we've done this, we'll lube the actual sliders themselves. Lerner likes thick. Thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Great username as well, by the way. So again, we're just going to lube the other side of the stabilizer wire now. Just paying attention exactly like we did before. We want to try and make sure it's as even as possible. Make sure they're as close to the same as we can. Okay. Once we've done that, we're going to pop that into the front of the housing, into the bottom of the 2 holes of the slider. And then there we go, we have a stabilizer assembled. The next job now is to pull the stabilizer out and then to lube the slider rails themselves. So what we're going to do is put a thin bit of lube. We don't need to add any more to the brush. We can just use what's there. Again, it's always easier to add more lube later on than it is to take it away. So we're just going to paint gently and just put on the slider rails themselves just some more lube, just a really thin layer. Going to do that on both sides. And then once we've done that, we're going to take a small piece of lube and we're just going to push it into the back. So at the back, you can see where the wire points out. We're just going to put a small bit of lube just into that hole directly at the back. And that way, as it runs down, it will lubricate the wire on any spots that we've missed. Going to do that on both sides. And there we go. That's one stabilizer lubed. Now we're just going to repeat that process for the rest. I just brought out the SP111 again today. Nice. That's the split board from Blind Assassin, right? That TKC ran. Okay. What software do you use for PCB design? Have you had custom PCBs made before? Yes, I've designed my own custom PCBs and I've had PCBs made for me by other people. I've always used KiCad, KICAD, for designing my PCBs, and I'm pretty sure that most other PCBs designers use the same software, although there are some exceptions. Some of the software is very expensive though, so just bear that in mind. KiCad is free. Put on ePBT Ivory. I don't have ePBT Ivory, I'm afraid. I'm still waiting for that to ship. Am I going to cut any more plates for the SP111? Potentially, yeah. So I did a group buy not so long back for carbon fiber plates. They're all in production right now. And POM plates. I could cut you one in POM as soon as the group buy plates are cut and shipped. So in the next couple of weeks, I'll be opening up POM plates on the site for order as and when you want them. I'll be able to cut them at any point. So yeah, there will be custom plates available at any time. Okay. I love your desk mat. Thank you. This is my own design. This will be an in-stock sale on Prototypist and a couple of other choice select vendors worldwide in the near future. So yeah, thank you. I haven't had a look at Eagle, although I do know that some designers do use it. I haven't had a look at it personally. You like it says, Jay, I thought I saw something. You're a full-time vendor now. Was I dreaming? So two things on this. Being a vendor for as Prototypist went full-time literally within the first month of it running. I've been putting full-time hours into Prototypist for nearly 2 years now. Officially, I am retired. As of last month, the 14th of April, I have no day job anymore. I am retired. I am without income. I have no monetary income whatsoever on a personal level anymore. I'm 100% classed as retired here in the UK. I don't have a salary. I don't take any money out of Prototypist, but I still work with Prototypist and do full-time hours. Technically, from a legal perspective, I'm a retired, unpaid volunteer managing director. So I'm the managing director of Prototypist. I'm the only employee. I do not get a salary. I do not get a cut. I do not get any dividends or payments. I take zero money from the business, but I am retired. So I'm too young to claim a pension right now. So I have zero income. I'm just living off savings and other investments at the moment, and maybe a little bit of streaming when we can go affiliate at the end of this week. So all of the work I do for Prototypes is effectively volunteer work. I don't get paid for it in any way, shape, or form. My payment is making people happy with it. And I know that sounds corny and cheesy, but it's truly why I do it. Like, I want to make people happy and help them get the things and the products that they want to get. So that's why I do it. Officially retired, yeah. Chung H1, thank you so much for following and welcome to the stream. Hello. Glad to see you there. I have foxes in my garden. Yeah, I have foxes in my garden too. We call them all Todd. They're all called Todd. Someone will probably get that reference. But we call every single fox we see Todd. But yeah, we have foxes in our garden as well. Desmat with your car collection, please. Yeah, I'm really contemplating buying another car at the minute as well. I've seen something that I've wanted for a long time that's just come up for sale in the UK. And ironically, it's not a Datsun for a change. It's something slightly different. But yeah, maybe I'll buy another car. I don't know. I'm going to go see it on Wednesday, I think. I have to take the day off because I get my COVID jab on Wednesday, my vaccine. So once I've had that, I'm tempted to go see this car because I'm taking the day off work that day. Okay, that's our stabilizers all lubed, and we are now ready to install them into the PCB. That's a long title. Yeah, sure. That's a long title, yeah. Lightning, he says, hi. Hey, man, good to see you. I'm glad you're doing well, man. Glad to see you on stream. Retired makes you sound old. I am old. I'm 36. In the keyboard hobby, that's old. That's really old. Pensioner makes keyboards on Twitch. I'm not a pensioner, so I'm retired, but I'm not a pensioner. I don't claim a pension. I can't claim a pension until I'm 65 on my private one, and I can't claim the UK standard one until I'm 72. So I'm not a pensioner. Different. Why don't you pay myself via Prototypist? Prototypist is its own thing, and it does. The aim is to make things and products for people, help people make prototypes with the profits. Is the aim of the game. So I don't really take money out of the business. In fact, I don't ever take money out of the business. My payment from Prototypist is getting to see all of the wonderful, cool things that happen, and being able to use Prototypist money to make things for people to buy as well, like just to reinvest that money and continue the business. That's the plan. Thanks for starting Prototypist. You're welcome, man. You're welcome. Draxter sends hearts. Thanks, man. Thanks, Draxter. I appreciate that. What's your favorite stabs? Duroc, I think, are probably the best value for money on the market right now. I think if I had to pick and I could only use one type, it would be Zeal stabs, but they're so pricey that the better QC on them doesn't quite make them worthwhile over Duroc stabs, like, because they have worse QC. I think that they're very close. Skyline, it's not a Skyline. It's actually not a JDM car. It's actually American muscle. Well, it's not even American muscle. It's Canadian muscle, which is even worse. So yeah, but it's something I've wanted for a long time. Do you think I'll ever go back to having a day job? Funnily enough, I was offered a job just this weekend, and I haven't given an answer. I probably won't in the next couple of years. I think the very least I'll take the next 2 years off, and I'll be officially retired for the next 2 years. I may or may not at some point start taking a salary out of prototypist. That's not going to happen in the next few months at the very least anyway. It depends on how well Prototypist keeps doing. Like, if the hobby keeps growing and I can keep doing more and I can keep myself busy, I'll keep doing this. If I find that I need to have some income and Prototypist can offer me that at the time, which it could easily do, then maybe I'll do that. If not, then I might go back to work and have a day job. I have enough professional qualifications and experience that it should be relatively easy to find a role. I'm not too worried from that perspective if I need to. Realistically, I don't need to work right now, so I'm good. Let's put it that way. Okay, so now we're going to put the stabilizers into the board. Just going to get some screws ready. So yeah, so that one, Brody, I don't know if we'll ever go back to having a day job or not. I don't have any plans to do right now. In fact, as I say, I just turned down a role just this weekend. But it's nice that people think of me and offer me these things. That should be enough. Okay, so now we're just going to pop the spacebar stabilizer into the PCB, and we're going to screw it in from the bottom. And when you're screwing in stabilizers, guys, just remember you're trying to hold a stabilizer in place. You're not trying to squeeze the ever-living daylights out of a PCB. You're just trying to hold the stabilizer in place firmly and securely. So when you're screwing the stabilizers in, you just want to make sure that you're not going too tight with them. So when you screw them down, all you want to do is go until they hit resistance, and then just do a quarter turn more, and that's all you need. That's literally all you need. Managed to catch my first stream. Epic Flying Bulbs, thank you so much. Is Epic Flying Bulbs? Yeah, thank you so much, man. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you watching. Your Decimat reminds me that I missed GMK Fox by 1 day. Oh man, that sucks. Don't worry, I'll have extras if you want to buy it through me. Shill time. What did I do before retiring? I was a senior program manager for a large financial institution here in the UK. I did it for 16 years. So I did everything from program management to product ownership for a large group of people over significant investment projects, transformative projects for the company I worked for. Basically ripping out old infrastructure and legacy systems and replacing them with new. So yeah, I did that for a long time and I enjoyed it. Up until about 18 months ago, I enjoyed what I did. And then I just kind of felt a little bit long in the tooth, and that's why I started Prototypist up. 36 and retired. I'm 32 and knowing it. Dude, I worked so hard at the bank. I worked so many hours for so many years. And yeah, I often felt like I was never making any progress or direction. Yeah, so it's a whole thing. But, you know, you just have to keep plugging away and doing what you can do, and hopefully one day you'll be in a position where you're comfortable and happy, and that may or may not give you opportunities to retire at a young age. It really depends. I am aware that I'm incredibly lucky in my professional life. That does not escape me. So again, we're just putting these stabilizers in, we're just screwing until we get resistance and then going a quarter turn tighter, and that should be all of our stabilizers installed in the board. Just going to make sure they all move freely, and there we go. That's our stabilizers installed for this build. Next job comes installing switches. I'm 36 36. You like it? 36 years old. Does that mean you can make a POM plate for my F1? The F1's a little bit weird because it actually needs grooves in the plate to hold the O-rings in place. So I can't laser cut that. That would have to be milled. You probably don't want that out of POM. It'd be too thin. It would snap. But most keyboards we would be able to do. Okay. Just checking the layout. All fits and everything's fine. We can see that that fits in just nicely. So now it's time to pop in some switches. As long as you have a solid income coming in, don't need to worry like work like getting rent or something. No, I don't have rent anyway. I own my own house. I'm very lucky from that respect as well. I don't have any income right now. Then, I mean, obviously there might be a small bit from Twitch or whatever going forwards, but yeah, I have zero income right now personally. But I'm okay from a financial perspective. I'm doing all right. Okay. This plate's pretty tight on these switches, so just going to take it slow, make sure we get them all lined up nicely and correctly. Just going to go every other switch or two for now, just make sure we've got the plate and the PCB assembly correct, and then once we've done that, we'll start to fill in the gaps with the remaining switches. Okay. Plate's quite tight for switches to clip into, so I'm just having to make sure that the plate's supported up enough to hold the switch in place and clip in correctly. It's not doing that in all of the orientations, so just making sure that's correct before we move on to the next switch. There we go. And as I say, we're just trying to make sure that we get everything nice and level and easy together. This might take us a little bit longer than usual to do this bit because this is quite a tough build to do. Epic Fine Bulb says, do you think there will ever be any more JO2 units? I would really love one, and I'm sad I missed a group buy. So as far as I understand, the vendors do have extras. I didn't run it as a vendor myself, but as far as I'm aware, the vendors that do have extras, and they should be going up for sale relatively soon. I think Canon Keys is going to put theirs up at the end of this month, or later on this month. So keep an eye out for that. Kimchi Dodo Boy says there are files for a 2mm sandwich specifically for polycarb. Probably could use for POM as well. Oh, nice. Yeah, if you send me the link, I'll take a look at it and see if I can cut some. I'll test them out. You like says, whoops, sorry, 36. Yeah, I'm 36. 36. Born in 1985. If you want to check my math, because sometimes I do get stuff like that wrong. Okay, that went in nicely. I think we're going to be okay now to just try and put the switches in the blanks here and just pop them straight in. We should be okay to do that. Retired but never stops working. Can attest to how hard Jay works. Daily Mel appearance done. Have fun. Thanks, Mel, for being here. And thank you so much for your help in the workshop last week. I do work hard, and you do too. You worked really hard as well. So for those of you who don't know, Mel came to the workshop and helped me pack up a couple of group buys last week. So big props to her and very much of a thank you. Lord of Sarcasm's here as well. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you so much for the follow as well. I missed that. And Quick Tungsten as well. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you so much for the follows. I appreciate that, guys. I appreciate that so much. Caceres says, might have missed it, but these pewters, yes, if you do exclamation mark build, you will see the build that we're doing today. These are pewter switches. Bonta, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Is the workshop expensive to rent, if you don't mind me asking? Yeah, I'm not going to give you numbers, but it's not cheap. I mean, I don't pay for the rent for that myself. Prototypist as a business pays for that. But yeah, it's not cheap. It's not cheap. It's really expensive. But need the space, right? I couldn't do this from home anymore, so I need the space. Okay, now we've got going. These should go in a little bit easier as long as we stick to putting them in the same kind of orientation. We're probably going to have a few just going into this next row down that is just going to take a little bit more massaging to get into place. Okay, that's looking good. Okay. Just making sure all of these are in nicely because I don't want the plate to just like skip parts of the switch out. I want it all to be clipped in nicely. Just making sure it's really, really clear that it's all in good shape. Just triple checking every switch at the moment, but it's looking good so far. Bottom row is very open on this PC, on this plate, so it shouldn't be too difficult to do the bottom row. We'll come back to the bottom row shortly anyway. For that one, I want to put some keycaps on and just see what sizes look good and make sure we're doing it in the right way. Okay, looking good now. Castubra says, my country is effectively back in quarantine, so it's going well. Hope things are getting better at your end. Oh man, that's so tough. I actually have my COVID vaccine next week, and I'm really excited for that to happen. I've never been excited for a shot before, but I am excited for that one. Kimchi Jody Boy, thank you so much. I'll look out for that DM, and I'll try cutting one tomorrow when I get back into the workshop. We'll give it a go tomorrow. Okay, just making sure everything is in place correctly and holding on to the switches. Because some of these are quite tough to get into position, to be honest. Some of these are really tough to get into position. This plate is pretty thick, so making sure it's all set nice and even before we move on to the surrounding switches. I should potentially have just pushed the switches into the plate first on this build, but hey, we live and learn. We live and learn. Thank me if orders are correct. Are they supposed to thank me if orders are incorrect, Mel? Is that how it's supposed to work? Yeah. Right? That's how it's supposed to go. Okay, I just need to prise the plate up here. I'm just going to be really gentle with it, but I'm just having to prise the plate up in places just to make sure it's sitting on the switches correctly. We're just going to do it in a way that's not going to mark anything. Okay. Okay, that's looking good. And again, guys, we're just taking our time, just making sure everything's in nice and evenly here. There's no need to rush this kind of stuff. It's always better to get it right than it is to get it wrong. And you can always just go back and start again if something's not looking good. It's okay. I really love pewters. It's the only tactile switch that I can use comfortably. I haven't used the tactile in so long, and I want to do a build with the Shigoki switches that just came in. So this is my preparation for using those in a build, because they're quite a bit more tactile than these are. So that's the plan. Huey says, I hear the biggest PT expense is all the snacks. True, man, true. Like, the coffee bill is ridiculous. No, there's not that many expenses on PT. Most of the stuff I just pay for anyway, because it's easier. Mel can attest to that. If Mel's still around, she can attest that I just buy the stuff personally because it's easier than it is going through the company accounts. More massaging equals sore thumbs. Yeah, these are taking some delicate massaging to get into place in places. So, but we're doing okay. We're getting there. Like, it's okay. We're just taking it slow. We're getting these together. The plate's looking good. My fingers hurt just packing them. Never mind massaging them. For sure. I can feel you on that one, Mel. Aren't you missing the left shift, Sab? No, we're going to do split left shift. We're going to do split left shift here, dude. So no stabilizer needed for that. No stabilizer needed. We're going to split that left shift. Okay. Just going to make sure the plate's just correct around this switch here. It's just slightly off. So we're just going to just prise it into place. That's all looking good now. That would make sense. Yeah, I'm an ISO user by heart, so whilst I can switch over to the ANSI enter, I struggle with left shift being full size. I much prefer it to be split. Call me weird if you will, but that's just how I like it, and this hobby's built around preference, so I'm gonna do it my way. $3D printed thumb covers like thimbles. Nice. Yeah, that's what I should do. If you won the lottery next week, would you change what you do lifestyle? Probably not. No, I might buy a different house. I'd probably have a few more cars, but I'd still come to the workshop. I'd still do prototypist. I'd still live that life. I'd still make things. I'd just have a few more toys to do it with. Like, I gave up the rat race of the 9 to 5 so I could make things. That's what I did. I'm much happier for it as well. Okay, so now we have a bit of the plate that's just misbehaving. I don't really have a way of prizing it the position it's in. I'm just going to see if I've got a tool here that's a little bit longer that we can use. I thought I did, but I don't. So I'm going to have to just gently use a screwdriver. And I'm just going to try and lift the plate around that switch. And there we go. Now it's all nice and even there. Right, now we can carry on putting these switches back in. It's always so important to make sure that the plate is fully aligned and not bent out of shape around these switches. Like, it's just so important. So the switches should not only be flush with the PCB, but they should also be flush with the plate. Okay, that's good. That's good. We're getting there. We're making some good progress. This plate, just where it's thinner and there's fewer stabilizers, you can see that it just doesn't quite want to. Sorry, there's fewer switches, there's fewer support joints. There's just a few places where it just doesn't quite want to hold on to the switch in the right position. So we're just lifting it up in those areas and just making sure it does as it's told. Okay. Almost there now, guys. Just a few more switches to install. What's the tactility like computers? Is there pre-travel? There's a tiny bit of pre-travel, like a tiny bit of pre-travel, and then you get a tactile event that's not huge. I'd say that the pre-travel is very short though. It's a very short pre-travel. A Datsun for every day of the week. Mel, you know me too well. A few more cars, a lot more cars. Yeah, I would do. I had to leave my ISO roots behind when I fell in love with the HHKB layout with the backspace and split backspace. Yeah, it's a good layout, man. I agree with that. I do prefer the true HHKB layout though, with the bottom right instead of the standard MX layout that we use a lot of the time. We're gonna go for stepped caps lock because stepped caps lock is the only caps lock as far as I'm concerned. And then of course we're gonna do split left shift as well. Okay. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're just going to work out what we're going to do on the bottom row. So I'm just going to get out some just some keycaps from the first pack here, and I'm just going to get out some 1.25U mods, some 1.5U mods, and we're just going to see maybe a 1U mod as well. We're just going to see how it goes. I'm just going to get out a 6.25U spacebar as well. Yep. I'm just going to see how that all looks when it ties together. Just grabbing some keys here. Bear in mind these will all have the wrong legends, but I just want to make sure we're getting the switches in the right place for a layout that looks like it's usable. Okay, so I'm just going to rest the switch in the bottom of the keycap and then work out where it needs to go. Just like so. So now we've got the space bar in place. I think what we're going to do is we're probably going to do 1.25U keys on the left here. So let's just see how those come out. And as I say, we're just going to align them by using keycaps to make sure we've got them in the right place. That's too close. Oh, interesting. That is the right position. There we go. There we go. I'm just going to make sure that all of these aren't going to bind or catch on each other. There we go. We're going to do the same on the other side of the spacebar now. I think these are going to be 1.5U caps actually. I think we're going to go with 1.5Us on the other side, I think. Let's see. Because we need to make sure we're not covering up that blocker, right? So let's put the top case on. See where that blocker is going to sit. Okay, so we can't use two 1.5U keys there. It is 2.125Us. I thought it was 1.5s. Okay. Okay, so we're just going to get some 1.25U keys. I'm just going to pop them in place as well. Then we'll check that the blocker sits correctly. And there we go. That's how we're going to do our bottom row today. Okay, so now we can take these keycaps off gently, hoping we leave the switches in the place. Elise, hey, thanks very much for joining. Thank you. I'm still a rat, Sniffs. What do you mean a rat? What do you mean a rat? You're not a rat. No one's a rat. Good Guy Entity says, has anyone received their email from TKC yet about switches? Because they haven't got back to me and I've been waiting months with a £250 paperweight. I have no idea, dude. I've never sold any TKC switches, so I'm not sure what you're talking about there. Sorry. Curious Yellow says build. There you go. There's the details of what you're doing. Zui says, I didn't know you were streaming on this channel. Yeah, so most of it's going to be workshop streams, but we're doing a keyboard build for a change today. Usually on this channel, it's just prototypist stuff in the prototypist workshop. But today we're doing a keyboard build because why not? So there we go, guys. That's all of the switches now in place. I'm just going to check all of these bottom row ones, make sure they're all in the plate nicely. The next job is going to be to solder. And we're going to carry over something from the old Top Clack days. We're going to carry over the fact that you can ask me anything whilst I'm soldering. So whilst ever I've got the soldering iron in my hand, you can tag me. You can at JPrototypist, and you can ask me any question you like, and I'll be 100% open and honest, as long as it's not going to break Twitch's terms of service. So you can ask me anything you'd like, and I will answer. So get your questions in now. Ahmed the Enigma says, JSE Infinity Amalfi Corsa is sold out. Is there any chance it will be restocked? Kind of don't want to have to chance. I'm afraid not. I'm not going to restock it. I'm afraid no. So glad we finally have a proper vendor in the UK. We have. Thank you so much for. Thank you very much for starting this project, dude. We have some great vendors in the UK. We have Mech boards. We have KeepCats. We have Optic boards. We have Mechbox. There are so many great vendors in the UK. So many. But thank you for your comments. I appreciate it. How long has Prototypist been running? We started on the 1st of November 2019. That's when I started the business. 1st of November 2019. Give us a closer look at the Wook switch puller, please. I don't have it here. Give me 2 minutes and I'll go grab it. Give me 30 seconds, guys, and I'll just step away and I'll grab that. Okay, here I am. This is the Wook switch puller. You can see the bear in the top. There you go. That's the Wook switch puller. This is the silver version, silver titanium. Grips on the sides. Nice, small, rounded switch grips underneath. Oops. Hope I didn't drop it. And then you can see it just closes like that nicely. Bear logo in the top there. There you go. That's the Wook switch puller. Is it keycap time? Yeah, it's not keycap time just yet. No, almost there after soldering. So, as I say, guys, if you just tag me with @JPrototypist, you can ask me any question you would like whilst I'm soldering. I am just going to check for bent pins whilst that's heating up, but I'll just be a minute doing that. We're just going to check all of the switches are pushed cleanly into the PCB, and we're just making sure we've got no bent pins. We're just going switch to switch, just visually checking that all of them are aligned correctly and that there's nothing untoward. And then we're just going to check the plate as well from the top side and make sure that's all correct too. Okay, doesn't look like any bent pins so far. Okay, no bent pins. Just going to check visually that the plate is all aligned with the switches. And by that I mean that the switches are all clipped in. So you can see here, guys, if it focuses, that everything is nice and neatly aligned all the way down. So there we go, ready to solder. Yeah, so get your questions in, guys. Tag me with @JPrototypist. Ask any questions you like. I will be 100% honest with you, 100% honest, as long as it's not going to break Twitch's terms of service. I'm doing the tidying up. Someone ping me when it's time to drop the poll. I'll tag you, James, when it's ready. Not soldered. Yeah, we're soldering today, guys. We're soldering. As a guy that's just started his career, what would be the biggest piece of advice you would ever give? The biggest piece of advice I would give anyone starting a professionalist career is don't talk shit about people with people that you work with. So if someone does something untoward, don't talk to other people at your workplace about them. It's really tempting to fall into that gossip rumor mill, but if you're talking about someone in a certain way and someone else is agreeing with you, you can guarantee that that person is also talking to someone else. So don't be that guy. Don't be the one that gives into the office rumors. Don't be the one that talks crap about people. Be really constructive and straightforward and honest with your feedback. Any corporate career, I would 100% recommend that. That's a great thing to do. It's very difficult to not be drawn into that kind of level of politicking, but yeah, try and keep yourself above that standard. Don't fall into the office politics, and don't talk crap about people, even if they are crap, even if they're doing a shitty job and you're having to pick up the slack. Don't talk about that in public. Raise it as a confidential discussion with your line manager or whoever's in charge, their line manager. Make it clear to them that you're not happy with their performance, but don't talk shit about people. I see it so often in the corporate world, and you know that if someone's talking shit about person X, they're going to be talking shit about you as well. So always know who your friends are and who aren't, and people you work with, they're not your friends on the corporate ladder. So just remember that. That would be my biggest piece of advice. How did you get into keyboards and start a prototypist? So I got into keyboards just because I wanted a decent keyboard to type on. I was doing a lot of typing back then, a lot of technical documents, and I needed a keyboard, so I got into it that way, I guess. Saw some nice fancy ones on Reddit one day, and the rabbit hole opened up before me. How did I start Prototypist? Well, Prototypist actually almost started in January of 2019, and then my mum got really sick, and she sadly passed away in March, so it became a back burner shelf thing until closer to the end of the year, and it was actually the 1st of November when everything was set up correctly and fully. So it just came about because it was something that I wanted to do. I wanted to give the opportunity back that I'd had in the hobby to share with other people and help people make things. And that's where it came from. That was where the idea came from. So now I've worked with a load of different designers. I've helped them prototype things that they wouldn't have been able to do without me. I've helped fund a load of projects. I've helped design. I'm not a designer, but I've helped design a load of things and worked with people on different projects and had a ton of fun doing it. So yeah, it's been good fun. What watch am I wearing? This is my About Vintage 1971 automatic watch. So there you go. You can search About Vintage online, and you should be able to find their store. Not affiliated with them or anything else. Paid full price for the watch. Blah blah blah. No disclaimers needed here. But yeah, it's a great watch. You can just search About Vintage, and you should be able to find a lot of their products. They do some great ones. This one's actually a Swiss mechanism. Some of them are Japanese, but the Swiss ones are a little bit more on the pricey side. Mode Obscure says, "Hey Jay, have you a laser engraved E-coated aluminium? Looking for some tips to get a clean engrave." Yes, I have. I've engraved anodized aluminium quite a bit. This has actually got some really early prototypes on here. You can actually see a few different etchings on the base of this for different things, and different strengths and testings. The thing you have to bear in mind with e-coats is that it doesn't cut as cleanly. It can kind of flake. So what you want to do is you want to do it in just a single pass. You don't want to have multiple passes, and you just need to really make sure you're tailoring that laser power and going quite slow. If you go too fast, it's almost like scratching the paint off with light. Is how I would explain it. So you want to go quite slow, you want to be quite detailed, and you need to make sure you've got the focal length perfect. For e-coats, it has to be perfect, otherwise it's just going to do a lot of damage. So you really want to make sure you've got the right focal length, really measure it, test it. Depends on what laser you have as to how you do that, but you need to make sure you're specifically right in the smallest point of the laser, because the laser beam starts off quite thick and gets thin and then gets thick again. So as it goes along, it gets thin and then thick, and you just need to make sure you're in exactly the right focal length for that part of the material. So you need to adjust the Z height of the bed to make sure it's perfect for the top of the material that you're going to be laser etching. All lasers are going to be different settings in terms of powers and speeds and everything else, so it's difficult to advise you on that, but you want to go quite slow, probably 5 to 10 millimeters a second, and you want to make sure the power is just right, because if you get to the point where you're actually causing the aluminium to anodize underneath where the laser's burning it because you're doing too much power, it's just going to create like a powdery film, and that's going to lift off the eco as well. So you just need to bear that in mind. How did you get into keyboards? We talked about that one. Yep. Where in the UK are you based? I'm based in Bradford. My workshop is in Bradford here in the UK in West Yorkshire. You can actually Google it. You can Google prototypist keyboards and it will tell you exactly where the warehouse is, just like any other store. But that's where I am right now. This is the office space for the warehouse, and that's where I am right now. I think we covered the advice for Epic Flying Bulbs. Curious Yellow says, what's the typical vendor, design and manufacturer revenue sharing for a key set run? Okay, so this is commercially sensitive information, so I'm not going to give you any specific numbers in terms of values, but it vastly depends on the designer and the manufacturer and the vendor that's running it. It can vary from a few dollars per key set to $10, $15 per key set that the designer gets in terms of a cut. Revenue profits for a group buy aren't huge. People seem to think that vendors make $50, $60, $70 per key set. I can 100% dispel that myth now. It's nowhere near that kind of money, but I'm not going to give you any specific numbers because it would be rude of me to break some commercially sensitive details. That being said, everyone is paid fairly. I don't think anyone has ever complained and said that they were being paid unfairly across any of the group buys I've worked on, so I think everyone's aware that it's good. But there's certain NDAs that I would be breaking, so it wouldn't be against terms of service of this, but it would be against a number of NDAs that I've signed and could land me in legal hot water if I answered that in any more detail. So I hope that's open enough for you. I'll try and answer as honestly as I can, and if I can't answer, I'll tell you exactly why, and that's the reason why. Cohen Robert says, didn't know you were streaming on a prototypist now. Nice. Also, can I buy your black VTC? Wait, dude, I thought you'd stopped asking about that. I don't actually have it here anymore. So the Janie's with a friend right now, so I can't sell you anything because it's not here. Simple as that. And I wouldn't sell it you anyway. You know I wouldn't do that. I'm sorry, but I wouldn't do that. I can't break up a set like that. Like, it just goes together, and I couldn't break that up, I'm afraid. I'm sorry. Spray paint the one you have. Sandblast it and then spray paint it. That's what you should do, Cohen. But yeah, we're streaming under this this now. Usually we're doing more workshop style streams, so it's actually making a lot of things rather than just keyboard builds. But yeah, today we're just building a keyboard just because. We're actually going to be talking after the keyboard build's done about some of the other types of stream we've got upcoming over the next couple of weeks, which we all base back in the workshop rather than here in the office space. Demotax says lemon or lime. Lime 100% of the way. I'm not a huge fan of lemons, but I really, really like the flavour of lime. The hobby seems to be getting more and more popular, says Geeky Ed. What are your expansion plans for PT? I'm not really planning to expand as such. I just want to offer as many products as I can. I think my view on expansion is more moving towards in-stock stuff than running just group buys, and that's already started. As well as that, I want to make more things in-house, not just laser cutting things, but more detailed things as well. So manufacturing in-house is kind of like a key area for me to explore and to do new things in. I've talked on stream before at length about things I've tried in the past that might not have worked out quite so well, but that's absolutely the choice for me going forwards. There's only so much you can do in the UK. There's certain products I can offer worldwide, but yeah, absolutely the plan is for me to start doing more manufacturing in-house, whether that be keyboard related stuff or just maker stuff. We'll see how that goes. What's the AV setup? You can check that on doing !gear, but it's effectively a Sony Alpha A64 overhead cam, a Sony Alpha A64 face cam, XM4 Sony headset, and then we've got a Rode NT mic. That's what we're using today. Nux is here as well. Hey man, good to see you, dude. Good to see you. Cohen Romers, Lalastad, Olri, and I exist, therefore I think. Thank you so much for the follows, guys. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. Katumbas as well. Thank you so much for the follow. Switch Doctor AU, thank you very much as well for following. Not Bot Driving, Maple05, Ninja Pirate, Sviris, One Drunk Man, Zui, and Elise. Thank you very, very much for the follows as well. I'm so sorry I missed those. Treeleaf, Minicree, Ron DG. Thank you again, guys, as well for the follows. I really, really appreciate that. Ben's Wench, so much thanks for the follow. I genuinely appreciate all of your follows. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much, guys. Okay, let's see what the next question is then. As someone who's a new vendor in a large country with a small group of people, what advice do you have for me? Take it slow, build your brand, be open and honest, and make sure you're approaching the people, your potential customers, in a really open way. Make sure that they feel comfortable approaching you. That's the biggest trick to it, I think. Making sure that people trust you, that you're open to it, and provide updates, I think, is the biggest thing. Everyone always asks me for updates. I post a weekly update for every single group buy that I'm part of. People seem to like that. Posting updates is great. 2 days until group buy. Yes, Nux, it is 2 days until group buy. Feel free to shill in stream chat if you'd like. Drop a link if you would like to do that. I'm more than comfortable for you to share that. Okay. Toby Carvery next to your place. There is. It is. It's just out the front there. Just out the front there. Do you have a recommendation for a 75% keyboard, polycarbonate frosted case with RGB? Struggling to find one. KL90 is in buy right now. It has rotary encoders, OLEDs, and it's 75% with polycarbonate. Maybe you take a look at that. Failing that, there's a lot of options. Like, depends on your budget is the real answer, honestly. It's probably a better discussion for the Discord rather than on stream, because I can think more about the keyboards that are out there, work with you on your budget and stuff like that. So just tag me in chat on the Discord server, yeah, I'll try and help out, and so will the rest of chat in my server. Such a nice desk pad. Thank you very much. This is my own personal design. It's actually going to be in stock on my store soon, and a couple of other worldwide vendors as well. Curious Yellow says, how practical are metal artisan keys for return keys for daily use? Does the pinging drive people nuts? I've never used one. I collect Brahma caps, and I have a few of the enter keys, but I've never really used one on a keyboard. The main reason is I tend to lean more towards ISO. There's very, very few metal ISO keycaps out there. It has been done, I'm aware. I have a few, but I tend to lean more towards ISO. So I couldn't answer that question, honestly, because it's not something that I use on a regular basis, I'm afraid. I suspect that people just get used to the pinging noise after a while. I've used metal space bars before, so that's probably the closest equivalent. You just kind of get used to it after a while, but I don't think they ever sound particularly great. I guess it depends on whether your preference is more on the sound or more on the feel, because some people like the feel of a heavy space bar key or enter key as well. It gives a nice satisfying clunk when you press it, so some people really like that. Epic Flying Bulb says, Jay, what is required to get a filler, and what does that mean? Sorry, I'm a bit of a Twitch noob, don't really watch people all often. So at the moment I'm just a streamer. I have no affiliation with Twitch, which means you can't subscribe to me and I can't make any money out of streaming. Not that I particularly want to, excuse me, but it also gives me the opportunity to do things like hold polls and do chats and giveaways and things like that. There are more tools available to streamers that make affiliate level. To hit that, all I need to do is hit one more stream this month and have more than 30 viewers across that stream. So I think we're doing okay today. I think we're doing just fine. So we should hit that tomorrow, and I'll be able to apply for affiliate status. If Twitch are kind enough to grant me that, then it means I will be able to take advantage of some of those additional tools and just make the streams a little bit more better and a little bit more entertaining. And that's the plan. That's 100% the plan. And ultimately at that point, if you would like to, you are then able to show your support with bits and donations and subs. Don't have to, it's entirely your choice, but it will become an option at that point if you would like to do so. How long will the beard grow and pineapple in pizza? The important questions. So Elise, the beard won't grow much longer than it is. This is kind of the length I want it to be. I actually go into the barbers on Wednesday before I have my COVID jab, and they'll do the monthly trim, as it were, for my beard and everything else. Hence why the hat's on at the minute, because I don't. My hair's a little bit too long. It needs really cutting every 3 weeks, not every 4. So that's why we've gone back to the hat. But yeah, the beard won't get much longer, I'm afraid. Like, it's pretty much the length I like it right now. What was the second part of that question? Pineapple on pizza. Yeah, I had pineapple on pizza today. There is nothing wrong with having something sweet with something salty. That works 100% of the time. That's a thing. That's why we have sweet and sour pork and all sorts of other things. Sweet and sour works well together. Anyone who dislikes pineapple on a pizza, you're not wrong, but you shouldn't judge other people for liking pineapple on pizza. Okay, that's all of the soldering done. I'm going to clean up this PCB off stream later on with some isopropyl alcohol. There we go. There we go. That's all now nice and neatly soldered. I'm just going to check visually, make sure everything looks good. I'm pretty sure it does. Make sure I haven't missed any switches. Okay, that looks good. That looks good. I'm going to take a risk and we're not going to test this until after I put it all together. And we'll see how that goes. Let's just quickly run through the questions because we have finished soldering now. Ogs says, right now with the situation with EU not being able to ship stuff over to England unless it reaches a certain amount, people get stuff from EU because there's no stock in the UK. Do you think it would be possible for PT to get more stock in for various different keyboard stuff? Just a thought. Yes, I'm working on that a lot of times with a lot of different vendors and a lot of different suppliers. I'm trying to get as much in stock as I can, trying to move as much away from the group buy model as possible. I won't fully be able to move away from that, but I'm trying to move away from it as much as possible. Curry Spoon as well, he says, Jay! Curry Spoon, good evening, good sir, thank you very much for being here. Curious Yellow and 3D Garo Uwu, thank you so much for the follows as well, I really appreciate that. Pineapple Pizza in Pizza is fire, says Nick, 100% man. Hello Jay, recently I saw a few stunning green marble artisans, thoughts any EU vendors? Send me a link, I'll see what I can do, no promises. Curious Yellow says, who is your favorite PBT keyset manufacturer? I think CRP would have to be my favorite. CRP makes some really, really good quality keycaps in some great colorways, and I love that OG aesthetic, so that's probably where I would pick. Bonta had a look at the KL90, doesn't look like it's for him. No worries, man, give me a shout on the Discord and we'll see what we can do for you. Okay. So next job now is to put the case back together, and then we can start to pick some keycaps. So we're going to screw all of this back into the case, and then at James AKB, time to get the poll ready. Let me tag him. Is AKB James on here? Yeah. I just tagged him and asked him to do the poll. He's going to run the poll for the keycaps that we choose once this is all back together. So we're going to get everything aligned. Going to get the bottom case as well. Just going to flip this over, and we're just going to clip it back into the case. Probably just going to do it separately first. Oh man, that's a tight fit. There we go. That's the plate in position. Now we're going to put the top case in position as well, just like so. Then we're going to flip this over, and then we're going to screw the case back together. Is that synthwave? Is what synthwave? The music? The music's just Harris Heller's Stream Beats. Okay, so guys, the poll is now live. You can now pick between the keycap sets which you would like to see. I'm going to show you the keycap sets once I put these screws in place, and then you guys can pick which keycap set you'd like to see on here. But we do have choices of Botanical, GMK Botanical, JTK Vostok, which is a triple shot set. We also have the choice of GMK Vaporwave or GMK Night Runner. Once these screws are in place, guys, I will show you the different ones. Is that Synthwave, the key set? No, the key set on this board here is Solarized Dark. Solarized Dark. You guys get to pick the key set that we use on the board in a moment. Yeah, that's GMK Solarized Dark. Does the Dolinger use threaded inserts, or is the PC threaded? It uses threaded inserts, helicoils, to be precise. If you want to screw back through the stream view, you'll be able to see right at the very beginning. I did touch on that and I did show it. But yeah, they're helicoiled in. Okay, so that's the board all now screwed back together. PC Dolinger. Man, I've wanted one of these for so long. Okay, so let me show you guys the key sets. We have JTK Vostok. This is reds, greens, light greens, and yellows all mixed together. We also have GMK Vaporwave. This is another option. Pinks and purples and bright teals. We have GMK Botanical, which is all lovely green shades. And we also have GMK Night Runner, which is dark purples, dark blues, and bright neon yellows. So there we go. Those are the 4 choices for key set today. You can join the straw poll that James posted in chat. All you need to do is just tag which one you'd like to see, and we'll pick the final one in a minute or two. I'll give you guys a couple of minutes to select which you'd like to see. Currently it's a tie between GMK Botanical and GMK Vaporwave. So you guys, if you do want to see either of those sets, you need to start pushing that. You need to start saying exactly what you'd like to see. Okay, time for a drink. Night Runner Cat Jam. I love Vaporwave. There is a group buy coming Q4 2021 for R2. I thought that was Analog Dreams that was coming back. I didn't realize Vaporwave was coming back. Vostok or Botanical, in my opinion. Not a bad opinion. I really want to join GMK Arch and GMK Dual Shot, but the lead times are just insane with GMK at the minute. Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's one of those things. That's just how it happens. I'm afraid. Okay, so JTK Vostok is winning now with 7 votes, and Vaporwave and Botanical are now tied with 6. Guys, got another couple of minutes to join in. Night Run at the bottom. One of those things, I'm afraid. Did you get a 7V? I didn't, no, but I have been talking to Mike from Novel Keys about some other products, and he asked me if I would like to pick one up. So I said, of course, yes. So I might end up with one. Of course, I'll be buying it and paying full price for it, but I may end up with a 7V at some point, yes. But I don't have one right now. Okay. Let's see how that's doing with the auto refresh. Vostok is still winning. Oh no, GMK Botanical has now caught up with Vostok. Guys, if you want to see a key set on here, you guys need to vote right now. We've only had 24 votes. Guys, there's 80 people watching right now. You can vote, guys. You can vote in the straw poll that James posted. Is the Dolinger keyboard available to buy anywhere, or was it a limited group buy? It was a limited group buy in terms of time. You only had an hour to join, but as long as you joined within that hour, it was unlimited. I was lucky enough to select one in that time. Yeah, I did see Alex's 7V. Yeah. Spam the straw poll link. Yeah, James, spam that link. Spam that link. Hold on. Let me get the link. There it is. Go look at the straw poll, guys. Go look at the straw poll. I would, but it blocks VPN providers. I'm not turning off my security for that. That's fair and cool, dude. That's fair. Unfortunately, one of the cool tools I'll get access to when I become affiliate is I'll be able to run polls natively in Twitch. I can't do that right now, but that doesn't block VPNs. You can use that with or without a VPN. That's entirely your choice at that point. Okay. Everyone's spamming the straw poll link now. There we go. So guys, we're just going to give it another 30 seconds. JTK Vostok is winning right now with Botanical in there, although I haven't voted as yet, so my vote does count. My vote carries for 2, so we might see a Botanical win at the end. We shall see, but I'm going to give it another 20 seconds, and we'll see. I'm going to give it until my little flick clock here flicks over to 10:01. So as soon as that flicks over to 10:01, we'll go with the result there, and then we'll see what that is. Yeah, you have to be affiliated, as far as I understand it, to run a poll on Twitch. So yeah. Oh, there it is, 10:01. Let's see what's winning. JTK Vostok and GMK Botanical are both there with 10 votes each right now. I'm going to go with my vote on on GMK Botanical, which means that wins with 11 votes to 10 on JTK Vostok. I'm really sorry, guys, but it does mean that GMK Botanical wins. My vote goes on there. That's how it is. I said when that flipped over to 10-1, flipped over to 10-1 when both were at 10. My vote adds on to that, and it puts Vostok in second place, I'm afraid, guys. Very sorry. Straw poll's done. Doesn't matter what you vote now. After that clock flicked to 10:01, that was what we went with. Uncle Dude says, I understand, nothing against you. Something that Straw Poll must have started doing because this wasn't an issue 2 weeks ago. Rip Vostok. One day we will see Vostok on a set, on a board, I'm sure. One day we will do that. Okay. So let's put some keycaps onto the board. And let's see how this looks. I have a sneaking suspicion that this is going to look pretty tasty. I have no idea how it's going to sound though. Okay. I may use a couple of novelties, but not too many. We shall see how I feel on that. I was going to vote for Botanical, so thanks. There we go. Do you also have the succulent novelties? I do have the novelties, yes. The novelties are in this box, so we will see a couple of them, and I will bring those out as we need. So as I see them towards the end, as we're putting this together, I might pick a couple of those out. I'm not decided on axe and arrows, or whether we just want to go with axe and enter and escape, so we'll see. Did I get a 7V? I didn't, no. I might get one and pick one up, though. We'll see. I mentioned it a few minutes ago, but Mike did offer me one from Novel Keys as part of some other stuff that we're sorting out. Okay, so we're going to go accent escape. Let me zoom the camera in a little bit so you guys can see a bit better. Oops, too much. There we go. You guys can see a little bit better now. Happy if I put the keycaps on in the right place. Will you consider making a keyboard stand that can hold 2 or 3 keyboards? I'm looking at making some prototypes for a 3 keyboard holder in the near future. So that should be made at some point this week when I find a little bit of time. Depends on how that goes as to whether I'll actually sell them or not, though. Death of Democracy, Rip Vostok. Hey, man. I get a vote. That's how it works. It's my keyboard. I get a vote. I'm just going to keep that to one side because we might use it on this column here. And I'm just going to keep a few of the novelties to one side as well because we may choose to use a couple of those. I can't remember if this set has UK ISO or not. I don't think it does. But let's see. Oh wait, we needed that. I'm throwing keycaps back in the pot because I'm used to building ISO. Just died right off. Need to leave to work a bit for tomorrow. Have a nice rest of the stream. Thanks, Alicia. I'll speak to you later. Take care. Any plans to make a Virgo compatible stand? Maybe. I'll have a chat with Flex this week and see if we can come up with something that will work nicely. Maybe. No promises, but I'll see if I can come up with something that works. Haven't decided on arrows yet, but I think we're just going to go with standard arrows. We might need that. We don't need that. We're going to go with scoops today. We're going to go with bars. Are the screw trays already available? No. Next couple of weeks, the screw trays will go up for sale. I'm just going to put the order into the manufacturer first, and once the order's in place, then we'll consider putting up a pre-order. So I want to make sure that they're 100% ordered from the manufacturer before I start to sell them. There we go. Get them in the right order. No ISO enter needed today. Okay, I could have sworn that there was dark arrows. Yeah, I think I'm going to go for the dark arrows on this. I just think they're going to just look a little nicer. Haven't quite decided what I want to put on the right hand column, so I'm just leaving a few keys spare for that. I don't think we're going to use the super keys either, but we'll see how we feel. Okay. Okay, maybe we do have UK ISO in here, or at least some of the keys. How many keyboards do I own? So I know exactly how many I own, and this is everything customs and vintage boards and everything else all put together. But it's 228 right now. 228. That doesn't include what I don't have here, so that only includes what I've got at the workshop. It doesn't include things that haven't been delivered yet, so it doesn't include active group buys I'm part of. It does not. Right, okay. Thank you, Huey. Thank you. Did Botanical use centered shift icons? Yeah, it used the centered shifts. Dixie shifts, I think they were colloquially known as. Okay, almost there now with the keycap entry. Okay. Oh wait, I did want that. So in the top corner, I'm going to go with print on row 1 up here, and then I just need to decide what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to do page up and page down. I just need to make sure we've got the right keycap profiles for those rows. Is that right? Yes. I think that's the right one for page down. Let me see. Nope, that's not the right profile. Now we need a keycap color. I should have checked more delicately before putting that on. Okay, and then we want an FN key for the bottom. So I'm probably going to use, there is an FN, I'm sure there is. Probably going to use super for that though. I like having the idea of a super key there. And then we just need the correct page down for the mid row, which is that one there. Now we've got all the correct keys here, and we just need to decide what we're going to pop on here. Now I think what we're going to do is we're going to actually use 2 of the novelties, and we're going to pop them in place here for the Windows keys. So you're going to have that there and that one there, and then we're just going to have an Alt key here for the second side. There we go. Okay, that's the keycaps on the board. Any Alps? Yeah, I have quite a few Alps boards. No, I have a lot. Do I enter every group by a seat? No, I enter a fair few though. Let me buy your screw trays. You don't use it all, dude. Like all of the screws that are here, they were in the tray. I tipped it out to show you guys the tray earlier on. I do use them. I actually use 4 of them, but I've sent some to the designer to have a look at. So I don't have all 4 of the ones that I use here right now, but I do use them. There we go. Choco Chopstick, thank you so much for the follows. Thank you, I appreciate that. Cable Cult as well. Guys, thank you so much for the follows. Thank you. Okay, well there we go, guys. We have the whole board now put together. You can see that we've got the whole of GMK Botanical on this wonderful, wonderful keyboard. And I think you'll agree that that looks pretty damn good. Look at that, guys. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in chat. Look at these curves, guys. Curvaceous as hell. Look at that. How nice is that? Right? Fresh is a really good way of describing this board. It's so nice. Bonds has to go. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate that. Looks very clean. Looks great, doesn't it? Rip my wallet. Dolphin curves are so nice. Yeah, this is the Dolinger, but I'm waiting for the Dolphin TKL as well. I have one of those on the way. Should we do a bit of a sound test? Should we mute the music for a minute? Let's see how this sounds. I'm going to take my headphones off for a second. Let's see how this sounds. Now, bear in mind that these switches are not lubed; they are completely stock. So let's just do a quick typing test and see how it sounds. I'm expecting it to be quite clacky because they're unlubed and they're tactiles, but we'll see. Well, I don't know about you guys, but that sounds pretty good for being a stock switch. For a switch that is unlubed and isn't tweaked or changed in any way, they're completely factory. That sounds pretty damn good. They do feel a tiny bit scratchy, so I'm glad I chose to wear these in before lubing them. Like these do feel just a touch on the scratchy side. So I'm really glad that we decided that we're gonna break these in and then lubricate them instead of just lubricating them straight out of the box. But yeah, I'm really happy with that. I think this is going to be my new workshop board for the next couple of weeks. So there we go. That's so nice. Yeah, very happy with that. I think it looks great as well. Such a nice board. There we go. Solid piece of brass in the bottom. No, this is GMK Botanical. GMK Fox has not been made as yet. So GMK Fox is still in production. Dolinger is heavily underrated. Is it underrated, Cohen? I didn't realize it was underrated. Like, I'm to say that these are unlubed switches, these are brand spanking new out of the box switches. I'm really happy with that. But tell me, Cohen, is the Dolinger really underrated? Is it? I thought it was quite highly rated. I've always rated them, so I don't know. Maybe I just don't listen to other people's opinions enough. Maybe that's my problem. Interesting. Okay, guys. Well, now we've done the build. Using a PC. Hey, I've got an FLX burger out there at the minute. Like, yeah, like you've got to be comfortable with whatever you're using daily, right? Just going to zoom back out, guys, because I have got a couple of other things I want to share with you before we end the stream. Sandwich mount, pretty stiff, and everyone is about the flex nowadays. Okay, I think that's fair. So it is sandwich mount. You're completely correct. It is fairly stiff. This is a polycarbonate plate, so it does have a little bit of bounce in the middle, but very, very little. It's quite firm still. It is quite firm. You're right. Yeah, I think most Lin boards are generally around retail price for aftermarket. I don't think many of them go much beyond that. I know my Montage I only paid $500 for, and that was aftermarket. The blue one, I know my white Dolinger, I think that was the most expensive Lin board I have. That was, I think, $800. And that was afterwards as well. So maybe interesting points, Cohen. Interesting points. I don't disagree with you there, but I don't... It's an interesting question. Do you equate aftermarket price in terms of does aftermarket price identify how sought after a board is? Is that how it works? Does underrated equal cheap and highly rated equal expensive? I don't know. It's an interesting question. I'm not quite sure where that's going with that one, but it's an interesting question. Perhaps, Cohen, we should have you on Talk Clack one day so we can discuss that in more detail. Because I'd love to hear your opinions on that. I really would. Okay, so now we've done that, guys. We've built the board. I do have a couple of other things I really want to quickly show you towards the end. Towards the end of the stream now. So the first thing I want to show you is something that arrived this week for me, which I haven't used as yet. I actually have two of these. I bought two because they're pretty cool, and I wanted to share them with you guys. So these are the new CC Artisan boxes round 2. They come in this great carry case. How cool is this? A little handle on one side, standard zips with tassels on. Pretty nice. Solid hard case. And then inside, we have first of all a flap with a spare lid. We have these amazing cases for Artisans. I haven't got round to putting my Artisans in them yet, but I will do. Magnetic lids. So the lid is actually on here. You can see the reflection. These are held in place with 4 magnets. But these are so cool. Thumb grips to open it up with. Little weight on the bottom. I also have another one. And for this one I went a little bit different. I was going to get a pink one, but I ended up getting a grey one and this one, which is a polycarbonate one. How cool are they? Super, super happy with these. There's the weight detail. So one of these is going to become my House of Parliament for my Kipura collection. Yes, I completely agree. Okay, let's catch up with some of the chats. Also, finishes pretty poor on Dolinger. Yeah, so this one I have is really good, but I have seen some comments from other people saying that the finish isn't necessarily great. I think the PC Dolinger in the beginning were 1K but dropped to 700. I don't keep up with MM. That's fair. Billy Types, thank you so much for following. I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Aftermarket prices are mostly about hype. Very true. I would say no, it just seems like most of the stuff I'm after is hard to find and because of that expensive. Yeah, supply and demand does equate to high prices. You're right. Undervalued may be a better phrase. Interesting. Undervalued. Interesting. But yeah, Anarchy, one of these two will become the House of Parliament for my Kipura collection. I'm really excited to get these in. I'm excited to move them in, right? That's something I need to do. But yeah, we'll see. Maybe if I find a couple of spare hours during the week, I will be able to get all of my Artisans into those cases. Artisans is something I'm not yet into, but I think my wallet thanks me for that. It's fair. That's fair. One of the other things that I wanted to share with you guys as well that's coming to a stream soon is this kit here. Now, this kit is something quite different to keyboard content, but it is going to be part of a workshop stream in the near future. We're going to be doing this on stream. Prototypist is more about making things necessarily just being keyboard related content. So, oh man, I should have opened this before the stream. I really should have done. I haven't looked at this yet. This is the first time I'm seeing this in the flesh, guys. I haven't opened any of this yet. Let's just rip the box open. I'm not even sure which is in this side. But some of you might have already gathered what this is. just from the wording. So that actually feels like it's empty. But this is actually a watch kit. Okay. I'm not sure what this box is for, but it feels like it's all empty. But this is actually a DIY watch kit where we're going to build a wristwatch live on stream. Oh, this is just the strap. Okay, so this is just the strap. So that's just the strap. We have a strap that we're going to install on the watch. Let's get rid of all of these packaging bits. We don't need them. We don't need this box either. But we're actually going to build a watch, a DIY watch on stream. This is going to be something we're going to see in the next couple of weeks when I find time to do it. But I saw this company in the US, not affiliated, not sponsored, blah, 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 blah. I paid full retail price for this. I always try and buy everything, and then I can give an open, honest view. But this is a watch making kit, and we're going to literally build this watch live on stream. So much packaging. It's pretty cool. Nice carry case, a DIY Watch Club logo there. Let's see what's inside. Okay, so look at this. How cool is this, guys? We get all of the tools that we need, little pouches for different things. Okay, I'm not sure if the stream just cut out, but like YouTube's playing a trick on me. Did the stream cut out, guys? Are you still there? Can you still hear me? Stream is live. Okay, okay, it's just YouTube doing YouTube things. What the hell is YouTube doing? Okay, let me restart YouTube. Horologist is insane. Yeah, this is really cool. I just want to build a watch. Like, why not? Okay, let's get the music back going. There we go. That should be all good now. That should be all good. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like, we get all of these tools and bits and pieces. Like, I don't even know what these are for. I need to read the guide. I'm going to go through it with you guys. But there's all sorts of bits and pieces in here. So I assume the watch parts come in these. Beep beep lettuce. Thank you so much for the follow, man. Thank you so much. Look, here's the date cluster, for example. This is the. We're actually going to put the whole watch together, and we're going to end up with a wristwatch at the end of it. As far as I know, this is a this is going to be a quartz movement, as far as I'm aware. I don't think it's going to be automatic, but it's still going to be cool and fun to build. Like, there's all these little boxes, all these little cool things. I have no idea what's in any of these, but we're going to find out on stream in a couple of weeks, guys. So I just wanted to share this with you. Tools I have no idea what to do with. Bits of stuff. Like, what's this? What's that for? I don't even know. But we're going to find out, guys. We're going to find out. All sorts of pockets and everything else. And as far as I'm aware, it does have like a full-on written guide and even like a little mat that you can work on as well, like a little leather mat. So this is going to be really cool. Really going to be happy to share this with you guys. A couple of different straps then. So we've got the leather strap. We've also got another strap in here. All the tools that we could possibly need. Like, even look, even like an air pump. I assume that's for getting dust out. Oh man, this is gonna be so much fun. Like, I'm just so much like I have a thing for wristwatches. I have quite a lot of them, and this is just gonna be so much fun actually putting one together and seeing how that goes. Like, look at this. Like, oh look, it's even got like a loop. How cool is that? When are you going to doing the stream cart building stream? Later on this week. So on Tuesday night and on Thursday night, I'm going to be doing the building of the streaming cart. So you guys will be able to tune in and check that out. One of the pieces of wood I ordered is missing, and another piece is wrong. So it won't be finished this week, but we're going to get at least the basics started and get it good enough to use. That's the plan. That's the plan. And then this is going to be one of the other streams that we're doing as well. So there we go. Really, really excited to share with you guys a whole watch building stream and see how we can do that. And I hope you guys are psyched for it as well. Let me know if you think it's a bad idea. Let me know if you think it's a good idea. The final thing I want to share with you guys is something from my childhood as well. So, does anyone remember these? Does anyone remember Pogs? Let me know in chat if you guys remember these. But these were basically like milk caps, they were called, but they're effectively like a piece of card, and you had slammers and pogs, and the idea was to stack them up and use the slammer to try and flip them over, and if you flip them over you got to keep them and then trade them, swap them and everything else. Now I'm that sad and that nerdy that I have my original full set of Series 1 pogs from the mid-90s made by Waddingtons, and Series 1 and 2 I have all of the slammers, I have all of the pogs, and at some point in the near future I'm going to actually on stream build like a frame where I can showcase the whole collection. It's going to be cut out of a sheet of acrylic with all of the holes in it. We're going to have all of the pogs displayed in order number, and I'm going to create a frame around there on the laser cutter that I can then hang it all up on the wall with nice and neatly. But when I was looking up details about pogs and getting the sizes, I found this on eBay, and this is a full original box of the 2005 series of pogs when they came back, and it has all of the unopened original pogs in. It has all of the unopened original pogs. These are all the original pogs that they would have sold at the time. There is 60 packs here, and the plan is that when we what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and see if we can get the whole of this collection out of this box. So we're going to see by opening these on stream, one a week over the next, or one a stream over the next few streams, if we can get the whole collection of these pogs. Like, we're going to try and see if we can get the whole collection of these pogs, all of the thing, the whole set, out of a single box. I'm optimistic we will get 90%. I think we'll get 90% of them. But that's the plan, guys. Do you think this is a cool idea? Do you think this is going to be fun? I'm excited to see what you think. Huey says Pog. Uncool Dude says Pogs. Keyboards, watches, and cars is a deadly kill. We have got some car streams coming up. So there are some streams where I'm going to be doing some things with cars. Yeah. I still have thousands of Pogs. Nice. Seems Pog. This is something I've never heard of. So this was back in the mid-90s, dude. So back in the mid-90s, these Pogs were a thing. And they're basically like little bits of card with different designs on them on the top and the bottom. And you'd have like a series of like 60 to collect or something like that. And you'd stack them up in a pile, like playing cards, for example. And then you have like a little round plastic slammer, and you would try and flip the pile over by throwing the slammer at the pile. The more you flipped over, the more you got to keep out of that pile, and you would take it in turns between yourself and your friends. And yeah, it was just a great time. It was just a great, good, fun time. You're going to have to educate us on the rare ones. Yeah, I have no idea what the ones in this series look like, but this is a series 1 from 2005, so this is like a revision of the original series. But we're going to open these on stream, 1 pack per stream, when we start doing the Pog display, and I'm going to create a display for these as well when I create the one for my actual current collections, and we're going to try and fill it. We're going to try and open up these all on stream, 1 per stream, and see if we can fill it up and see if we can get there. So this was not cheap. This was a lot of money. It was a silly purchase, but I'm really excited to see if I can bring back some of my childhood and actually get a full collection out of this pack. We'll see. You were born in 1998. Yeah, I'm a lot older than you. Yeah, I'm a lot older. Garbage pail cards and stickers. Dude, I collect loads of random shit. Playing cards, you name it, I collect loads of stuff. So, yeah. Pogs and Keenies. Yeah, Keenies was the actual name. K-I-N-I-S. That was the name. Originally designed in New Zealand, I believe, and they were actually made of actual milk caps. So the metal milk caps, they used to collect them in New Zealand, and then you used to try and flip them, and that's where the trading came from. And then Waddingtons tried to make that an actual collectible item, like stickers and Panini stickers were back in the day. And then they were a thing, and this was back in the mid-90s. I was a playground Pog king. Dude, same here, man. I used to play Pogs all the time back in primary school and high school. Holographic metal throwing star Keenies slammers with the shit. Yeah, dude, I remember with the spikes on. So cool. So cool. Go-Go's Crazy Bones as well. Yeah, I used to have Go-Go's Crazy Bones. And the sequel to those, there was also another company, a rival company, that did ones called Little Tokyos. And I had some of those as well. They were really cool. That was back in 2006, 2007. I was way too old for that stuff then. But yeah, I used to love it. So guys, do you think this is a cool idea? Would you guys like to see if we can complete the collection of these over the next series of streams, the next 60 streams? Because if you guys like it, we'll do it. As soon as we start to make out the whole display for the collections I currently have, we will start to open these up every stream, and we'll see if we can get a full collection. I'll take you guys on that journey with me. Is the build done? Yeah, the build's done. We finished the keyboard build. We built a Dolinger, polycarbonate Lin Dolinger, and we put GMK Botanical keycaps on it. And there's the board.
How many to get a full set? 60, I believe. I believe there is 60. Yeah, collect all 60. There is 60. 60 pogs to collect. I have 60 packets in this box. That's how many are in this box. So I'm hoping that we have... Each one, I think, has 5 in it, I think. I believe each one has 5 pogs in it. 5 pogs, 1 slammer, and a card. Okay, so 5 pogs in each one. So I have 60 times 5 pogs to hopefully get a full collection of 60 out of it. So that's what we're going to do on stream. That's going to be a thing, guys. So yeah, we're gonna absolutely do that over the next coming stream. So we've got the watch stream, we've got the whole streaming workbench build to come up, we've got loads of laser cutting, I've got a ton of plate cutting to do as well, so I'm going to stream a lot of that, and we've also got the POG display to come, and yeah, all sorts of random other stuff, loads more keyboard builds and a whole raft of other stuff. My aim is to stream at least 3 times a week and give you guys something fun to watch, even if you don't watch it on stream live and you want to catch up on a VOD. We're going to do that as well. So there we go. How do you feel about the PC finish on the board? I think it's pretty good, to be honest. The PC finish on this is pretty nice. I'm not unhappy with it at all. I know from speaking to You Like It earlier on, he mentioned some problems with his. This one doesn't seem to have those problems. I'm not sure if Lynn cherry picked this one because it was coming to me or not, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Geeky Ed says we got banned from playing for keeps at school eventually. Yeah, we used to get banned for it, but we used to just do it anyway. So yeah, Russ, I think the board's pretty good, actually, pretty good. Okay, so I think that's it for the stream today, guys. Let's pick someone to raid. I want to make sure we're sharing the love here, guys. So please stick around because we are going to raid someone. Let me see who's online. If you guys know anyone who's online who you want to raid, let's take a look. I'm just going to jump into the makers and crafting. Okay, just having a look now. Let's have a look. Who should we make? It should be a maker. It doesn't have to necessarily be keyboard related. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, we could do key set crimes. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, we could do key set crimes. Would you guys like to raid Quaid over at key set crimes? Should we do that? Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's chuck Quaid a follow, and let's go and raid him. Let's go raid Quaid. Okay, let's go raid Quaid over at Keyset Crimes. I want you guys to tell him that he looks really cute today. Okay, I want you to tell him that he looks really, really, really cute. Let me set the raid up here. So I just want you to go over there. We're going to tell him he looks really cute, and that we think he's just such a nice guy, right? That's what we're going to do. We're going to go raid Quaid and tell him he's cute today. Let's go do that, guys. Thank you so much for being here, guys. This should be the stream that gives me affiliate. I hope I can announce that next stream, maybe Tuesday night when we start to build the work stream bench. Thank you again so much for following today. I really, really appreciate everyone who's followed, everyone who's supported the stream. Thank you so much. I love doing this, and I love being able to share it with you. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Let's go tell Quaid he looks great today, though, and tell him that we love him. Okay. Thanks very much, guys. I'll speak to you soon. Hang around for the raid. Cheers, guys.